radio fans, and welcome back to another episode of Davey Max Tales from the Satellite. I'm your host, Bobby Tamburo, and joining me as always is the Comet, Eastside Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the Tales of the Satellite fans, wherever you are. I'm sure right now, if you're watching, you're probably watching on Patreon. That's patreon.com/EastsideDave, and we thank you. The Patreon subscribers get this show over a month in advance. There's also the Davey Max Tales from the Q&A, which we've been doing more regularly. That's for the $5 tier. That's the $5 dog seats. But $2.50 gets you early access to this, gets you some bonus stuff, and all kinds of excellent, fun content. And yes, you're supporting the Dave Man when you do. It's just $2.50 to join that first tier, and then the other tier is $5. So, you make the decision, but it's pretty affordable, and you're helping me out. Tales from the Satellite on a roll, like everything Davey Max sports program, boom, on fire. And, of course, Modern Day Man with Aaron Berg and Eastside Dave McDonald is the talk of the town. People are saying, oh, my Lord, there's like an old school radio show happening. There's radio occurring once again. Yeah. See, you can have fun and you can do radio, and you don't have to. Not every podcast has to be drama. Has to be, I don't like this podcaster and I don't like that podcaster. That is done to death officially. R.I.P. drama casting. It's boring, unoriginal, lazy, uncreative. It fucking sucks. What Berg and I are doing is steering away from any of that, just having fun on the goddamn microphone. More akin to radio than podcasting. So check out Modern Day Man. All 5 episodes are exquisite. That's at Modern Day Man Show on YouTube. You can also hear it. Modern Day Man is also available audio only on iTunes and Spotify. And let's get rocking, Robert. This is going to be a good episode.
And on iHeart.
I don't plug that one. Who gives a fuck about that one?
Oh, I was just plugging it because Opie was bragging he took his show to iHeart. So I just want to point out we're also on iHeart.
Again, who gives a fuck about that? That's exactly why I said who gives a fuck about iHeart. It's not. It's nothing. Spotify, iTunes sound good, and then it's like, and iHeart. I mean, and it's one letter off from I fart. And let's be honest. All right, I don't need to be confessing flatulence here on Davey Max Tales from the Satellite. I fart. No, okay? That's not it. No. So we plug the YouTube, we plug the Spotify and iTunes, rockin' Robert Tamburo, rocking the fucking thing. What do we got today for the second time?
I am curious, and this is going to lead into what we've got today. Would you say your dynamic with Berg kind of hails back to more who you were on the Ron and Fez show a little bit, where we're talking about incidences that are happening in your life, things like that?
No, I would say it's the ultimate Eastside Dave.
Okay.
I wouldn't say, I would say I'm not a narcissist. I'm not an egomaniac. I know not everyone's followed every single second of my career. However, there are plenty who have. There are a lot of Davey Max Sports Program fans, Eastside Dave Show fans from Compound, Yaddle Chattel fans, the Watchers, and everything else. And this is, I'm taking from everything. And yes, that includes Ron and Fez's special delivery. For the third time, today's show is.
I'm getting into it. The reason I asked that was today's episode is actually going to be us discussing your dismissal from the Ron and Fez show. And that's why I was asking if you felt like some of that element was back.
All right. Hold on. Listen, when I set you up with it, when I'm literally setting up the volleyball, once in a while, just spike it. I was just trying to set up what today's fucking episode is. It's Save Dave, Pay the Man. It is when I was asking for a pay raise at SiriusXM, and they didn't come to the table in good faith. And I wasn't dismissed. Vernacular is important, Robert. I walked because they insulted the fuck out of me. And we're going to get to the specifics today. We've seen some Reddit comments where I've alluded to this situation throughout the years. I thought I was specific. Some people, I guess they weren't listening closely, so I'm going to be very specific here today about the end of the Eastside Dave McDonald on the Ron and Fez show. Don't forget, I still was around for special delivery and Davey Mac Sports program on Saturdays. But as far as Monday through Fridays, Ron and Fez, I was gone. I left. I wasn't dismissed.
You
Big
walked.
difference there, Robert.
Well, I appreciate the clarification right away. And that's what this whole episode's about today, is clarifying some of the misunderstandings or lack of understanding around
Today's episode is
East
about
Side's Dave.
Dave Pay the Man saga.
Well, actually, we're actually going to discuss the audio we're going to provide is actually one of the first shows without you there. The first show where you are no longer a member, because that's where we get a lot of
The very first show. We're going to play the very first show after I was gone. And they talk about it specifically. There's a lot of specifics in the first 15 minutes, but really it stays Dave-centric. I'm not trying to be egomaniac. Robert and I listened to it on the way home from Modern Day Men the other day, and it was very Dave-centric throughout the entire episode. But this is the audio you're going to hear is the first, not one of, it's the first day back on the Ron and Fez show post Davey Mac. It's the post Davey Mac era of the Ron and Fez show, the very first show back.
Well, thank you for the second clarification. I appreciate that.
You're struggling today. What's the matter? You get up early?
No, dude. I think you're a little jazzed up. I'm just trying to ride your energy, big guy.
I mean, I am jazzed up. It's Davey Max Tales from the Satellite. I'm extremely excited. I'm enthusiastic. I'm feeling it. Summertime's here. God knows where I'm going to live 10 days from now. I don't give a shit. It's like that little fucking movie with the kid. And then he goes in the van. And then he's in Alaska. And then, oh no, I'm cold. And then he ate the berries. Oh shit. These ones was poisonous. What's the name of that? Into the Wild.
Into the Wild.
This is the what you're hearing right here and right now is the beginning of Davey Max Into the Wild. This is like when the kid goes to the desert and throws out his credit cards and his driver's license and everything, and he just disappears. That's what you're looking at today.
McCandles, right?
Fucking hey.
Did you know they actually had to get rid of that van? They had to fly a helicopter in to remove the van he died in because so many people died trying to get to that van.
That's pathetic. All of that was sad.
Yeah, not good. But anyway, that's
and if he walked another 200 yards, he could have crossed
the shallow walk. Yep.
Yeah. Stream was like a foot tall, and a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, a lot of unforced errors by that kid.
Exactly. And like that goes to show all these people have made him a hero. But like he wasn't that great. Pick better heroes. You know who's a great hero to have? Eastside Dave McDonald.
Fair.
And we're going to discuss, like you said, the first episode after you left the Ron and Fez show. And it opens, and the first person that they really go to, not that Ron uses as his second mic, isn't Fez. It's Chris Pepper Stanley. And Pepper tries. You got to love him, right? It's almost like playing for the Lakers after Kobe retires. You're going to do your best, but people are going to be like, we miss Kobe. Right? And
Am I Kobe Bryant?
In this metaphor, yes.
I mean, I prefer Walt Frazier, one of the Knicks.
It's like Patrick Ewing retired.
You always go to Kobe.
Yeah.
As far as producers go, I will always be Michael Jordan. At this point, I'll give Chris Pepper Stanley his flowers. He's LeBron. He's played in, twice as long as Jordan played. LeBron, his career now, the fact that he skipped all of college and now is playing till, 41, 42, he's way longer. But when you look at the greatness and the brilliance of the Jordan era, like the Beatles, kind of same argument with Beatles and Stones. You can only have one Jordan. You can only have one Beatles. You can only have one all-time producer who sort of innovated a lot of stuff. Let's be honest. And then the Pepe Hamburger understood the formula, wrote what I did down, goes, okay, I got to do this. I'll just do, yes. I'll follow all of his example down the line and then have a nice long career. Hey, that's wonderful. Rolling Stones, I love the Stones. Who don't? But, Beatles, then the Stones. Jordan, then LeBron.
So then would I be Kobe in that metaphor? Because just copy your moves and imitate them, and I had that thing in Denver.
You'd be lucky to be B.J. Armstrong. There's no Kobe for Robert. I would say Robert, you do your best. Maybe a Luke Longley. Maybe I'll tell you, at your best, could I give you a Tony Kukoc? Maybe.
I mean, at this point, it sounds like I'm Steph Curry because I'm about to just blast past all your expectations and under evaluations of me. That was hurtful. That was insulting.
Those are all
Um,
champions. Every player that I mentioned
Yeah, no.
played on the championship Chicago Bulls and contributed in a positive way.
I'm not even Rodman. I'm not even Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
No, you'd be all right. I'll give you who's someone I could give you. That would be a nice compliment maybe you're Horace Grant. Fair?
No.
Horace Grant. He made all-star teams.
Okay. There was no point in Jordan's career where Horace Grant was holding him up.
He made all-star teams.
Okay. I don't
Also,
like
how come we don't see NBA guys with goggles anymore? You had two on the Lakers in the 80s with Kareem and James Worthy. You got fucking the guy I just mentioned. What's his face? Horace Grant. We don't get goggles anymore. We don't get goggle guys. Gigi Allens. There's no more Gigi Allens in the NBA.
I mean,
except for LeBron. He probably does some weird Gigi Allen stuff where he tastes
Proof-flinging.
his own shit and stuff like that, with those Diddy parties that he goes to.
I also feel like his poetry would be a lot of like Gigi Allen's, where he's like, the snake is in the grass. The snake has bit me.
So anyway, there you go.
Went to a party. I ate a bunch of edibles, so I passed out.
Wait. Let's not get off track here.
We're not.
No.
Horace Grant.
I'm allowed to go off track. We're not going to have a 15-minute fucking crazy Robert story where he's on acid talking about Gigi Allen. At certain point, the Davey Mac Tales from the Satellite fans turn on me because they say you need to rein him in, and I agree. Now, you were saying about Pepper. He's like Scott. He's like Tony Kukoc or something you compared him to?
Yeah, no, Pepper starts the show. And then they quickly go, well, Dave's gone. And if that happened when Dave was here. And at that point, it kind of gets into the Dave is officially walked. This is no longer going to happen. Right. And then Ron goes, who could possibly fill in for Dave? And plays what could only be described as one of the cruelest jokes on the audience that was ever played in Ron and Fez history, because he hits the Rider music.
I was born a midnight rider, the Willie Nelson version,
which was a whole debate that happened right after.
A debate on the episode. They're saying, what the hell is this? But then Chris Pepper Stanley had to go, I believe it was always the Willie Nelson thing. That was probably because of an Earl initial fuck up, and then his own pride wouldn't let him switch the songs. So we always did the Willie Nelson version of the Midnight Rider song for me, at least.
Can I be 100% straight here?
Yeah.
That's not true. It flips back in the saga 3 or 4 times.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. Just because at one point I was convinced it was the Allman Brothers version because of the clip I was listening to, and it was, and then it's Willie. So like it feels like both bands got their
all right, that's fair. That's fair. And both bands should. The Willie Nelson version is great. I got no issues.
They said that's what Dusty originally used, but I don't think that's true either.
But yeah, they don't even know what Dusty. This all goes back to Dusty Rhodes. Everyone's confused about what the hell was going on back in like 1978 or whatever the shit.
But the beauty of it is, right away, Ron goes, I'm just kidding. Dave's gone. This is 100% a shoot.
Yeah,
and like that just shows the beauty of the Ron and Fez show a little bit. Like, still able to make a joke about it, but also show how bad they're feeling by making the audience instantaneously feel that bad.
Well, wait, when do you want me to talk about the money?
It's going to come up in 1 second.
All right. So, yeah, I was listening to this live, and so I was laughing at that Midnight Rider thing.
Yeah, I figured you would get the humor.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to be able to listen every day, but I was definitely listening that day for sure.
Of course.
Well, also you want to hear what they have to say about you. I'm just being honest. Of course, you want to hear what they have to say about you, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Or do they not say nothing? Let me just say this: I appreciate Ron and Fez for not just the initial 15 minutes of the show, but then all the references and or discussion post that. And you'll hear all that audio on this episode. One of the things that really pissed me off about 95.9 The Rat, I won't go into a crazy tangent, but I will say that I spent a decade there, 10 years of co-hosting a show with an antiquated, likes the sound of his own voice and smell of his own farts, style over substance, stupid ass radio guy who had, one of those fake deliveries like a Tom Likas or a Grease Man, where you can't believe someone's actually talking like this. You can't believe. And instead of saying here's George Thorogood, one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer, he would say, that's GT and the D's, one bourbon, scotch, and a beer. GT and the D's. That's George Thorogood and the Destroyers. Everything about this guy gives you douche chills.
Yeah,
everything. It's like he's the ultimate douche chill guy. And nevertheless, they were number one in the ratings for my entire tenure there. Then some fucking rich company, the Beasleys in Florida, by 70 to 80 fucking radio stations across America, and they lay off 500 people. And because the soulless way corporations work, wouldn't you think if you have layoffs, you'd have someone going around talking to every single employee and then saying, we're going to have like interviews and you people are going to say like what you do for your job? Because the second if they had done an actual interview, like we're going to do our rounds and see who's valuable, they would have been like, wait, this guy's done 5,000 fucking articles for our website. That's not hyperbole. 5,000, the podcast. Anyway, the point being, I did everything for these fucking people. I was always more talented than every fucking person in there combined. And the day after I got laid off, I tuned in. They didn't give me a 5-second shout out. Forget about 15 minutes. This motherfucker, Carl Kraft, didn't go on the radio and say, we just want to say thank you to Davey Mack for 10 years of enthusiasm and passion and energy. And also for the fact that he's a billion times more talented than me, Carl Kraft. Want to say thanks to Dave for literally carrying the show for a decade. I know he's not going to say that, but you know what you can do? Thanks, Dave. By the way, if the show sounds a little different to you this morning, Davey Mack is starting new adventures in Radio Land. We just want to say thank you to Dave for 10 years. Anyway, here's Metallica, Red Sandman. That took what? 10 seconds? If you do that to someone, it means the world. And the reason why I got pissed, I was willing to take the delayed off at the Rat like a gentleman. I was. I waited a week for them to give me a fucking shout out. 20-second, 30-second shout out. Thanks for a decade and all the ratings and all the digital content, not just articles, but podcasts and videos, social media shit. Nothing. So if you want to know why I think 95.9 The Rat's the biggest piece of shit radio station on the face of the fucking planet, is because they're all fucking cowards. They all bow to this fucking narcissistic cunt named Carl Kraft, who is a liar because everything he does is fake. He pretends he's from Jersey. He's from Long Island. He pretends he's straight. Well, he's from Long Island. That's all I'll say. I don't want to get sued. But you know what? When people give you a decade of their hard-earned labor and hustle and creativity, you fucking thank them. I worked for Ron Fez for 5 years. They thanked me. Special place in my heart for Ron and Fez forever.
Absolutely.
Because of that. Special place in my asshole for the rat. I want them to fucking explode. I want the station to die. I want nothing but bad things to happen to Carl Kraft first and foremost, but everyone there, because they're all a bunch of pussies and they all kiss his ass, which then furthers his God complex. And that's why the guy will still play fucking old school Nickelback songs in the year 2025, even though every single email says how much Nickelback sucks. Well, David, the research says otherwise. The research you did in the year 2000, you cunt. I'm not stupid. You can't bullshit me.
He never made it as a wise man.
Carl Kraft is a piece of shit that has more skeletons in his closet than Liberace, P. Diddy, and Jeffrey Epstein combined. That's all I'll say about that.
Would you say he's the rat at the rat?
Yeah, and by the way, I always thought that was a stupid name. We're in New Jersey, but of course the Long Island asshole with his head up his ass couldn't comprehend that New Jersey, one of the mob capitals of the world, to be a rat in New Jersey isn't a good thing. So you know what? But the station, they are a bunch of rats. They don't look out for anyone but themselves, and they all think that to look out for themselves, we have to kiss Carl Kraft's ass, who has no talent and no intelligence. He literally told me, a lot of people, David, think I'm a lot smarter than I am because I'm a 6'5" blonde guy who wears glasses. First of all, who talks about themselves like that? That's so gay. Like Carl.
Is his actual last name Kraft, or is that one of those radio things?
No, he that's a fake ass name.
Yeah, that's not even a good one either. But anyway, we're not talking about Carl. We are talking about Ron. We are
thanking Ron and Fez for that beautiful introduction.
And honestly, you're absolutely right. This could be used in college classes to show how to properly thank somebody for the work they did on the show. Right out the gate, the first thing Ron brings up is no offense, I mean this in 100% complimentary way, the best thing you ever did on radio, I think. The Midnight Rider bit. I mean, it changed so many things. He brings that up to remind the audience, this is what we lost. This guy who did this wonderful
I'm going to tell Guy Garrison and Board Gossip and Dave Leno and Mike Francesa and Richard Dreyfuss. You just said, go fuck yourselves. Fuck yourselves, boys.
I don't know if that list you gave me really influenced my opinion, but no, you get what I'm saying. Like, this was truly, I mean, it's why we hooked up. It's why I reached out to you, because it blew my mind so much. Like,
what a big mistake that was to have replied to your email all those years ago. I think about the fact that I got Luke Longley sitting across from me, and I could have had maybe Ronnie Harper, from the second three-peat.
Was there like a guy on the Bulls who didn't get any playing time and then went to another team and just won a bunch of championships out of spite?
Steve Kerr did win 3 with the Bulls and 2 with the Spurs.
Maybe I'm a Robert Horry. I'm just going to end up being a journeyman.
All right.
Everywhere I go, I won't be appreciated as much
7
as the value
rings.
I bring to the table. Exactly.
Big 7 championships Bob. For Robert Horry.
Big Shot Bob. That's what you're going to start calling me. It's the Eastside Dave and Big Shot Bob.
I'm never going to call you Big Shot Bob. I'll call you Big Shit Bob.
I wish I took bigger shits.
Because of your poops.
That would be awesome. That'd be a great nickname. I couldn't live up to it. Maybe it's like the thing where you call a big guy tiny. Anyway.
Yeah.
They give you, so I think he opens by showing the Midnight Rider, like, this is the guy that's no longer here. This is the guy we lost. And they actually get into some of the behind the scenes of the Midnight Rider a little bit, which is cool. They talk, Pepper says it was his first day when you got voted off as an intern, and he completely bought it. He thought you were gone, dunzo.
Yeah. I sold it so well. Everyone was done. I told you, Mikey Boy emailed me saying, I just want to know, this really sucks. And you are the greatest on air, is what he said, producer of all time. I said, it hurts, Mikey. And by the way, I agree with you about the on-air producer thing.
Yeah, I mean.
But it hurts. Everyone bought it. They all bought it. I had Sam Roberts came in, and he was like actually shaken up because we become now kind of like friendly. He was the friendly O&A guy. I'm the friendly Ron and Fez guy. So he was like, I'm just really sorry, man. It was fun getting to know you. It was great. I got all these fucking assholes, all the staffs. Boom, hook, line, and sinker.
What a big reveal there.
I was rather proud of that.
You're telling me Sam Roberts showed a real minute of humanity behind the scenes? That might be the biggest revelation we've ever had on Tales from the Satellite.
He was shaken up and he was like nervous. And he's like, it was great getting to know you, man. I don't.
Was he nervous because you were gone, or was he nervous because of what he thought you were gonna do?
No, no. It was like, I can't believe this is happening. Everyone bought it. That's why when anyone has any fucking bullshit to say about me working over people multiple times on the Ron and Fez show, just remember this. Remember this, because you remember the Chris Stanley's voice. He said he bought it, right?
Hook, line, and sinker.
Boom. You know how jaded and cynical that fucking asshole is. And I say that of love. That is, I love the asshole. He's an asshole that I love.
I mean, in his defense, his first day in radio, they had a fake firing in front of him. He watched a bunch of people mourn for a guy, and then he came back the next day in a luchador mask. Maybe that's where he got jaded. Like, literally, his first day was one of the biggest works of all time.
My point remains the same. He fucking bought it. He had no idea what was going on. So if you don't think I can work better than, I'm going to say 99% of Hollywood. Like if you put me in next to Daniel Day-Lewis, that's the only, that's a coin toss of who's a better worker.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll do the fucking my left foot thing. Help! I only have 1 foot. Help me. It's my left foot that I have, not the right one. But it's really terrible because I was a football player. That's soccer for you American peoples. And I was a great striker with the right. But now I only have 1 left foot. He calls it my left foot. Hence the title of the movie. Yeah, I could work. I mean, come on. That sounds exactly like that character. Oh, I think it's only me, Daniel Day-Lewis. Those are probably the 2 best workers in radio right now.
Honestly, I think if you and Nathan Fielder teamed up,
who?
The guy who does like all the elaborate setups and pranks and things like that, Nathan Fielder, he got his.
Never heard of him.
Oh, you would love him. We'll talk about him after the show. I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but he's very good at designing a prank, and then he brings in other people where you could sell whatever like the 2 of you would be. Whew.
Give me a call, Nathan. I mean, I'm the idea man too, though. I like to come up with pranks to do as well.
I feel like you two, the back and forth. Oh my God. Anyway, I don't want
Nathan, give me a call.
I don't want all of the audience to just leave because they nutted in their pants thinking about that. So let's go back to the topic at hand.
I know. Well, you're so bad at this sometimes, but go ahead.
I feel like you're angry at me today for no reason.
I'm not. I'm in a very good mood.
I'm not sure who pissed in your Wheaties, but it wasn't.
I'm in a good mood. It's just you brought it up. You're like, I'm promoting someone else's show quite heavily here. Now go ahead.
Well, back to what we were talking about. They were talking about how good of a worker you were. And then Chris reveals, Ron points out at one point it became illegal to wear a mask in New York on the subway. So you couldn't wear the luchador mask on the subway anymore, but you needed a way to wear it into the building because, as you pointed out many times, the O&A producers were trying to ruin the bit. So Pepper and you, this is where Pepper says,
well, I mean, talk about a modern day approach that we're seeing in podcasting way too often, or even comedy with too many comedians. Rather than do their own bit, how can I destroy something awesome that's happening? So the O&A guys had nothing, no idea, and no creative spark whatsoever. They couldn't think of their own character. They couldn't come up with their own bits, sketches, nothing. So instead, it's let's get a picture of Eastside Dave in the mask, and then we'll ruin it, and we'll ruin the bit for like what the fuck? Who would that have helped? Absolutely nothing. So
No.
again, like, are we not seeing that type of? That's a perfect example of what separates people from being creatives and just being fucking douchebag lice on just sucking someone's someone who is creative, sucking the blood out of their bones. You see, but even though O&A did have so many producers and interns who were nothing but maggots, they never once got a picture of me because I didn't listen to it. By the time my subway train was slowing down, I took the mask out of my bag and put it on.
And Pepper says he would meet you at points to drop the mask off and things like that. So he just, again.
I had it in my bag, in my book bag. I traveled everywhere with my book bag. I had it in my book bag at all times.
Oh, okay. Maybe Pepper just wanted to be a part of something like everybody who said they walked with MLK.
Yeah.
It's hard to find somebody who says they haven't at this point. It's kind of crazy. You're like, you're 27. But anyway, I think Ron's highlighting the level of work you put in. What he says next is one of the best metaphors, I think, for losing a coworker like this. He goes, it's like telling the kid's grandma died. And they're just waiting for you to be like, oh, it's going to be okay. Like everything else they've been scared of their whole lives. Like you're going to be like, just joking, it's all good. And you have to be like, no, grandma's gone. She's not coming back. And like, that's how he felt about you, which I mean, is a hell of a compliment.
Oh, I'm grandma, I suppose. Well, I was Earl's grandma from time to Earl, honey. It is so damn warm down here in hell, Earl. Oh, Earl. You never know who was my boyfriend the other night, Earl, and I got so many of them, darling. You know your grandmama's coochie, old black hot coochie gets around down here, Earl. Earl, I'm passed around like a watermelon at our family reunion, Earl. Anyways, I was going out for marshmallows with none other but Chucky Manson. Ooh, Earl. Pint-sized little man, but big-ass dick. And every single inch of that Caucasian dick went right up the ass, Earl. Earl, can you lower that thermostat in hell down here, honey? It's a little bit warm. It's a little bit smoldery. Earl, it's your grandmother here. I'm dead. Go tell the kids I died. Bye, Earl. Goodbye. Bye, honey.
No, I mean, truly, though, I think it's one of the biggest compliments you could say. Like, it's as disappointing to the audience as learning their grandma died. That's pretty impressive. And
Earl, it's your grandmother here. Just want to say I'm still here in hell, baby. No thanks to you. No rosaries, no nothing. Yeah, I understand that the folks like you who go to church, one of those Baptist churches, they like to do tap dancing and Macarena and all kinds of things. Maybe once in a while, though, maybe stop with the dancing, get on your knees and start hitting some rosary beads so you get your beloved dead grandmother out of hell, Earl. Like that Robin Williams movie. Earl, get me out of here, baby. That would be a good movie. Just do a fucking sequel. What was that? Times Will Come, or There's Nothing Like Tomorrow, or remember that? Robin Williams goes to fucking hell because his wife killed herself.
No.
To rescue her.
Is that like a modern take?
Like that? What dreams may come? I don't remember.
Is that a modern take on like the Prometheus story?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to check it out. Sounds good.
I remember the visuals were cool. The one time I saw it in the theater, I've never seen it since. Not gonna lie.
Fair enough. Maybe we'll get the projector out and you and I will watch it one day.
I remember Cuba Gooding Jr. was there, and there was a twist as to who he was. And it's like, oh, you're the fucking kid. You're his kid, isn't you?
I don't know how that works.
He chose a black man's body. A black man who was always worried about his football contract and wanted more money, no problems.
Oh, I thought it was a different character. Cuba Gooding Jr. played it with that love football.
No, I mean his character. What I'm saying is, in this movie, I believe it's called "What Dreams May Come," and then his character and Jerry Maguire, they both. I remember wearing white tank tops and white pants. So I remember saying, "Wow, they have like the same wardrobe. Maybe it's the same guy." Anyway, continue.
Well, we've kind of gone off on a bit of the tangent, and before we get into the financials, I would like to let the audience hear what Ron says occurred behind the scenes, so that you can comment on that. So I think we throw it to some audio right here. And we'll be back after they kind of catch up to what we were talking about. We'll be back right after this.
I watched it on TV, and fucking goddamn course of one paid up $28 to win. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. That fucking drives you nuts.
I hate it so much when I see that shit. It fucking drives me insane.
What is your normal bet?
I'll bet like $20-30 a race, like fucking trifectas, exactas, whatever, yeah.
So you got them, you're boxing all over the place.
I'll boxing sometimes, sure. Straight bets, whatever. I don't really like the box. It's too crazy.
It does get nuts.
Yeah.
We got to do a track day with Pepper Hicks. And plus, I want you to start having a fucking racing form and carrying it around in your back pocket wherever you go.
All right, I'm down.
And I'm going to buy you a checkered fucking, some kind of a really bad checked sports coat with like a little hat. Get that off to Pixie too. I want this. Tell Pixie I need a Pepper Hicks drawing per day. How long ago did she do that?
I don't know. It was me in a bar, right? With a drink in my hand?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was from... Oh, that was from the Franklin screening. I was drinking with them at Mars Bar over on the fucking Lower East Side, yeah. That was months and months and months ago.
Yeah, I know. We still had Dave then.
Oh.
We still had Dave. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Remember how pale his face would get some days? And those little dark circles under his adorable eyes?
The bloodshot eyes.
Why didn't I hug him and kiss his cheeks when I had the chance?
We don't know what we got till it's gone, Ron.
That's so true, Joni Mitchell. I think she did that. I don't know who did. Where my Dave at? James, you're on Fez.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say that I actually didn't think the day would come. Thought it was all just a big lie that Davey would be done. But he is, and I just want to know that we love you from Canada, Dave, and you guys will still do a kick-ass job, and that's about it.
Oh, who wants to, James? Who wants to do a kick-ass job? I'm not even in that mood yet. Who can we possibly get? Who can possibly get that would make us feel the... Wait, no. It isn't. No, it isn't. This is a shoot. Dave is gone. Not a funny little Midnight Rider bit.
My first day as an intern was when he left, and then 2 days later the rider came.
And is that right?
The first day was him fucking leaving.
Did you buy that gimmick?
I didn't know. I definitely did. My first day on the fucking show.
Oh, you know what? To be totally honest, I don't even think I told Dave it was a gimmick. And then Fez was angry that whole time because he thought, Fez could actually do the Dusty Rhodes voice, and Dave had never seen any. And the entire fucking Midnight Rider thing was an homage to the great Dusty Rhodes, because he was in some kind of loser leaves town back in the early 80s, I guess. And then he just came back, still wearing his cowboy hat with a mask on as the Midnight Rider. Hey, baby, just doing straight Dusty stuff. And then, of course, Dave never really knew the Dusty Rhodes. So every day after, Faces would be like, you're not even doing the voice right. And then, of course, Dave was always so great that he wouldn't even let on any of the O&A guys.
He would have me come down to the street, meet him at the train station, and he would wear his mask down to the street and freak out the guards downstairs.
Well, you know that you can be arrested for that in New York. You can't go anywhere with a mask in fucking New York.
He kept bringing up rainbows, the Midnight Rider, and I don't recall the Midnight Rider or Dusty Rhodes ever mentioning rainbows. But rainbows constantly brought up.
Oh, Dave was doing it?
Yeah, our Midnight Rider.
I don't remember that.
Well, the rider's magical.
No, he's not.
I think he is, though.
Hey, by the way, how many people do you think fucking were like screaming out, I knew this was a bit as soon as one. And by the way, didn't we used to play the Allman Brothers and not the Willie Nelson?
It was always Willie Nelson.
Wow, that's weird.
I think it's because Dusty used the Willie Nelson version.
It's a bad mistake, Dusty. Bad mistake. Mike, Jersey, you're on Run Fest.
Hey, what's up, boys?
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Dave out in radio land. As much as you're a drunk asshole, we're gonna miss you, buddy.
Well, I
We're
don't
really
know.
gonna miss you.
What is this turned into a roast? Charlie in Jersey, you're on Run Fest.
Yeah, Ronnie, joke's over. Bring Dave in. I mean, okay, haha, hee hee. It's over now, right? He's come back, right?
You know, it's like that thing when you got to tell the kids that their grandmother died, and then like they're used to you going like, oh, I know you're scared about something, but don't worry, it's just a movie or a storybook. No. I got no words for you guys. I got no words for you. Everybody tried to make it happen. A couple of times it felt like it was going to happen, but Dave's gone. You heard him the other night on. He's still doing the special delivery, right?
Yeah, he's still doing special delivery with Sam.
Were you in here with him, Hicks?
No, E-Rock was covering, but I heard. I was listening on Saturday night. Jesus.
How was he holding up?
He's on all right, I guess.
I had to talk to him from vacation, and I'm up in the mountains, and my phone kept going off. Even when I was down here kind of trying to work the bosses a little bit, my phones would go out and I have to keep going further and further up on a mountain. And I had to scream at the boss once when he's like, look, this is unacceptable. I go, oh, you've never been on fucking vacation? I don't want to be in this conversation.
You don't understand how fucking cell phones work?
I don't know. Matthew, you're on Fez.
Yeah, just missing the Dave component today. I know you guys will prosper through it, but I just wanted to give Dave a little props. You were giving him some hard time yesterday, over the weekend about the contest with they were trying to interpret and impersonate the unmasked people, and he really did get the Weird Al Yankovic thing right. Weird Al was kicking it up here and there, but my question to you is, how much fighting behind the scenes went on for Dave? Or did you guys want him? Did you not?
Oh, yeah. Well, here, the thing is, I'd like to give you like a fucking show version of it, but I'll just give you the straight corporate version of it. Not only did we want him, but the programming bosses wanted him as well. And then you've got this large company that has a lot of producers. The economy is in a time where they're trying to hold. So let's suppose if we were a smaller company, they might have been able to look at the Dave thing more as just one person, right? But as they're cutting staffs at different places or holding shows in places, it becomes very difficult for the financial guys to go, we'll take this one guy and put him up. They thought they were going to have to deal with, after that, I imagine, 200 other stations going, well, look what you did for their producer. But I'll say this, my boss, my boss's boss, everybody in programming wanted Dave to stay here. And then those guys even came back to me and said, write up a letter of why Dave is kind of unique and different and what he brings to the company. I'm going to say this. I wrote up a great letter, and I'm only saying this because I had help. But it was a really professional thing that I felt, and I even said in this thing, if it doesn't work for budgetary reasons, spin him off, let him have his own show. I'd rather the company kept him, because, and I put it through this point of view, the company's already invested into this training. He came here from like doing a flower job or whatever, became this producer and on-air personality, and he got really good. In my opinion, if you hear some of the stuff that he did on the air, he did some really great stuff. But then even off on his own doing Twittios, that shit's hysterical. He's done some really hilarious things that aren't just being silly and running up on stage and yelling and stuff, but some really well thought out things. Dave has a lot of talent. At the same time, he will, was in a position where he said, I have a family, I have to make this move now, not because I'm, trying to structure this for myself, but because I got to take care of my family. Everybody got it. And yeah, I mean, if you really want to fucking shoot on, I feel fucking, bad today that he's not here with us. Even more than I feel bad that he's not in radio full time, because I think he belongs there. But again, I think we've all been through this with our jobs before. Sometimes a move like this works out in the long run. Now, you can't always say it at the time. But, he had this stuff of wanting to do stuff on his own, and we've always, been behind that with the special delivery and all. We all wanted, whatever he wanted to do to kind of take off on his own. Maybe this will be one of those deals where, hey, not being, not getting that gave me the drive or the incentive to make this phone call or whatever. Who knows? I will say this. I'm going to give you a prediction right now. I think Dave is going to be extremely successful with his humor. Honestly. I think he's a really, really funny guy. And he works really, really hard. And it's tough not to have him here today. But again, for all the people who act like, oh, the company, I could tell you firsthand, all the programming guys, our bosses, were on board with this and wanted to keep him. So there you go. There you go.
I know I listened Saturday night. I was actually kind of confused by it all.
Why were you confused by it?
Well, because I know things that Dave had said about possibly relocating the family to North Carolina.
That is a possibility.
And, going to work for his father-in-law at the handy lift company. And then it was just confusing because it was like, then he said that he had, Jersey radio station interviews to go to.
Well, he's going to take this month to try to stay in Jersey. Going to the North Carolina thing was a possibility, but even I think all of us want him to do something with his talent. I mean, Obviously you got to do what you got to do for your family, but we'd love to see him, kind of live out the dream that he started for himself years ago.
But I mean, I was thinking when he was saying that, because I had never heard this Jersey radio station possibility from him, and I was thinking if you're going to take a job there in radio, you're going to still have to get another job to support your family. It's not going to pay what he needs.
Right, but I think he wants to stay in Jersey rather than the commute back and forth to New York, and that's time-consuming and financially consuming for him.
Yeah, but I mean, if he's going to have to take a second job. The way he's if this is all going according to what he was saying Saturday night, if one of those jobs could have been this one,
right?
And then he talked about,
but is that thing that he got? It cost him a lot of money, and it cost him 4 hours a day to go back and forth.
It's $6,000 a year, I think he was telling me, with the new increases in just transportation.
Yeah, it's insane.
And 4 hours at least a day, so it's pretty fucking nuts.
Yeah, I mean, he had himself in a tough position. But beyond that, Fez, if the guy is, your friend here, you got to support him as well. It's like, to me, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. And I wouldn't sit and try to, I don't know, guess whether he wants to stay in Jersey or not. That's not our business.
Right.
Our business is this. And by the way, he was offered some kind of a raise here. I didn't get in the middle of it, but I talk to these guys every day about it. And I know the programming guys wanted him to stay. Everybody wanted him to stay. Well, let's take a quick break here. And we get back and we'll try to look into replacing Eastside Dave on the Ron and Fez show. That's something I didn't want to say today. Right back.
The Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, buddies, it's the Ron and Fez show. 866 Ron 0 Fez. 866 Ron Zero Fez. Here's JD in Tampa. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, fellas, I just wanted to nominate Eastside David McDonald for the final Beanie Cup ever. I think you need to hang that thing from the rafters.
Well, I would definitely nominate him, but remember, you have to be here to receive a Beanie Cup.
No pot.
You have to be in the room. Let's go over here to Gary real quick. Gary, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie B. My biggest problem with it is, this is no exaggeration. I have 2 radios, one in my truck and one on my desk, just pretty much for the Ron and Fez show. And Opie and Nancy, just this channel in general. And, I guarantee the people that are making these decisions don't even have an idea, have an idea of how it affects, the channel itself. But, intro.
Well, the financial guys obviously aren't going to have that, but the programming guys got it, and all wanted to keep Dave. And seeing that everybody had written in all these great Twitters, the Sirius, and then there was, then they would go like this. They would call me up and they're like, I don't know, some of the people don't like Dave. I go, what? Oh, everybody likes Dave. They go, what about Ron Red Dog? I go, look, you got to look at the overall picture. You just can't go by listener by listener.
They're like combing them boards, aren't they? Jesus.
Yeah, they comb the boards. I'm not going to lie to you about that. They like to get out there and comb around a little bit. But, you do what you got to do. So, Hicks, as we look for somebody to get in and be part of this, to me, you don't go out and just try to find just don't go out and just try to find a Dave. You try to find somebody differently. For me personally, I want us to get somebody that can write. The perfect person to me is somebody that could write and, write in a different way. I would love for him to have a theater background. I love to have a movie background. I'm looking over some stuff right now. And this guy might be great. He's written for theater. He's written for movies. He might be the new East Side Dave. He's also directed. Let's go over the theater stuff. American Buffalo. That looks strong. He wrote that. He wrote Glengarry Glen Ross. The Verdict is a film. The Untouchables. Wrote Wag the Dog, which is great. Wrote The Postman Always Rings Twice, that remake. This guy could be perfect. Let's bring him in and talk to him and see if the chemistry is there. Let's bring in to the show, and this seems crazy that I'm saying this, David Mamet.
Back in the saddle.
We are. And the reason we went to break was we wanted to let the audience hear exactly what Ron said about the breakdown behind the scenes. Before he even does that, though, I do think it's kind of cool. He goes, well, Dave is gone, but he's not dead. He'll still be here on Saturdays doing his project with Sam. So kind of letting the people know that it's a cheap plug, but Dave's going to keep doing his thing. Don't worry, which I thought was cool.
It should have been different. It would have been different.
And then,
but Sirius XM, didn't didn't get ready. Sirius XM was not going to cooperate.
No, and we get a caller that goes, my question is, how much fighting happened behind the scenes for Dave and what really went on? And as we were driving...
Number one, let's get to the actual dollar amount, and let's get to the X's and O's and the nuts and bolts of things. You pointed out, you let me know that one of these people on Reddit said there's no way Sirius XM would pony up 15,000.
I got it right here.
What?
I got it exactly right here. The post. I'll read it to you verbatim.
Please do.
I know this is 15 years late. Dave says he was making $35,000. He says he wasn't asking for double his pay, so we can assume that he asked for 50 or 60. Were they seriously not able to find another 15,000 for him? Or was there more to the story? Really seems like they could find the money somewhere, especially considering Fez wasn't even talking at the time.
Yeah, you'd think. Anyway, this isn't about throwing Fez under the bus, but it's about when I said, yeah, you think. I'm specifically highlighting you'd think they'd be able to find another $15,000. So, yeah, me too, because they had it. And because they're complete, evil, cold, soulless fucking assholes.
And
So,
by them, can you clarify specifically who you mean?
Just let me go for a second.
Okay.
Number one, I said I was making $37,500. Correct. I wanted a raise to $60,000. That is not some crazy amount that I pulled out of my ass. I knew for a fact there were multiple Opie and Anthony producers who made north of $70,000. I was more valuable, more productive than any single O&A staff member, period. I do not have any problem saying that now. I don't have any problem saying it then. I don't have any problem saying it in the future. Now, one of those guys could hold a candle to me. There's no reason why you have multiple guys making $70,000 and some guys making one or two making $85,000. And I'm asking for $60,000. And that's some sort of fucking crazy ass thing. The problem with me, as I've told people many times before, people slap on the crazy label instead of saying it for what it is, creative. It's close. It starts with a kara, but it's not, I'm not crazy. I'm an intelligent person who graduated with a 3.5 GPA, a magna cum laude with honors. I'm intelligent and articulate. I also know how to perform. I also know how to create content. Games, sketches, characters, discussions, debates, talking points, whatever it may be. 5-tool player, I'm a 10-tool player. There is no way that's everyone that you had so many guys in O&A making substantial money, making $65, $70, and $85,000, and I can't get to 60. I said, look, I want to get to 60. They come back, Steve Blatter and Rob Cross. Rob Cross was the nitwit program director who's, like Stevie Wonder. He's blind in his head, kind of like fucking Bob's back and forth. And then Steve Blatter's his boss. He's the general manager. And none of these two meatballs listen to Ron and Fez ever. So can you imagine this? You're in charge of a network and you have no knowledge of product. You're completely ignorant about what goes on, about who steps up. They would consistently get production confused with being a producer. I'm the best producer of all time because I'll take one for the team. I'll do a stunt, but let's not pigeonhole me. I did 1 million fucking classic characters. I came up with 1 million games, themed episodes like The World's Fastest Wedding, which we did in the Fishbowl. That was the brain. That was from me. We had a couple who wanted to get married. No one knew what to do with them. We were like, we don't know. I mean, they're because they weren't even friends of the show. They were just totally random fucking people. So I came up with, how about we do with The World's Fastest Wedding? We do the whole thing. Bachelor party, bachelorette party, everything. The engagement party, the wedding itself, World's Fastest Wedding. Boom. That's what a producer does. Idea man.
Yeah.
They didn't understand that. So they come back to me after this process. But let me tell you one thing that did happen.
Okay.
2 or 3 days before, Friday. It was going to be Friday, and I was going to get, word over the weekend of what they were going to give me. And I said, if it's not in the ballpark, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming on Monday because this is ridiculous. You guys are hanging me out to dry. I have 2 kids at this situation, And yeah, so some people argue, well, if you have a family, it's not the company's fault. No, good point. Unless you went above and beyond, and now we're underpaid for multiple years, and in that time, a family happened. Maybe you just want the fucking money you earned. And the fact that you have a family says, hey, I'm just really intense on getting my fucking money that I deserve. So only a few days before this, Rob Cross comes in and sandbags me in the studios. Our show ends at 3, and Rob Cross comes in and starts talking about my fucking contract. And so you really going to leave if you don't get I'm like, so what are you really looking for? I said, I'm really looking for $60,000. It's not crazy, Rob. But why this is wrong and maybe even illegal is that he was negotiating basically my fucking business. He was talking my business in front of Ron and Fez. They're still in the studio.
Yeah.
So I said to Rob Cross, I go, Rob, I know for a fact that there are O&A guys making $65, $70, and even $80,000. Rob Cross doesn't even deny it. You know what his retort is? Well, those guys, that's Opie and Anthony. You guys are Ron and Fez.
How'd Ron take that?
That's the biggest fucking insult you could ever say to anyone. But especially that show, the Ron and Fez show, which, according to Opie, we were doing better than. Opie was the one who would say, hey, I'm friends with Eric Logan. I get to know the numbers and more people listen to Ron and Fez. Opie said that on the Ron and Fez show. Don't forget that. One of those T-Does Fridays. He said that. So our show was every bit as good as O&A, and a case could be made in 2008, 9, and 10, our show was superior. A strong case could be made.
I would say not even you don't have to make a case. Just look at what you brought to the air versus what was brought to the air by the other people.
I also informed Rob Cross, dude, they have a staff of literally 9 guys. And about 6 of those guys are making over $65,000. This is ridiculous. We have a staff of 2. Don't you realize that I'm doing a lot of fucking work and creativity?
And maybe
hold on. He just sat there, shat all over my very reasonable business request. I wanted to go from $37,500 to 60 G's. I wasn't asking for $150,000, $110,000. I wasn't asking for something just obscene and absurd. This was all market value. This is all, hey, these guys do this. I deserve just as much as them because I do 5 times as much as them. And Cross is there negotiating my shit with Ron and Fez sitting in the room.
Just absurd.
I'll never forget that. After that, Rob Cross left, and I'm like, I was shut down. I shut myself down after that comment where he's like, well, you guys aren't. I mean, it's like, yeah, but they're O&A. You're Ron and Fez.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm just going to shut myself down now.
Jesus. So.
No, Ron was not. I told him at first, I don't think it registers. I don't know. I don't want to speak for Ron, but I did tell him, I go, that was completely unprofessional and uncool of Rob Cross to fucking air my business out in front of anyone. And years later, I think about that sometimes and I go, that's probably illegal. You probably can't do that.
No.
There's probably rules and laws about, hey, I'm going to negotiate something, but I'm going to try and put him in the corner with his other 2 bosses, Ron and Fez, so that he feels pressured and he feels bullied and put in a corner. And when I did say that to Ron, I said, that was wrong. He said, do you want me to go down there and say something to Cross? I said, no. I knew I was done at that point. I had been taken advantage of at that point. And so what they came back with on Saturday was $1,500. I got a phone call. I swear to God, I was like, okay, because $1,500 times 12, I thought it was per month. That would have been $18,000.
Which was even way more than you asked. Yeah.
Yeah, $18,000. No, it wasn't more than I asked. Do the fucking math. 37 plus 18 is 55.
Okay.
Anyway, it was $5,000 even less. $1,500 per month accumulated into $55,000. It would have been $5,000 less than I asked for. However, I would have returned because I would have said, okay, they came close.
They fought.
They want to win some kind of weird negotiation. So fine, I'll come back for the $55,000. Oh no! Oh no, folks! That was $1,500 yearly. So in other words, the big ass raise that SiriusXM wanted to do was to put me from $37,500 to $39,000. The big raise was from $37,500 to $39,000. At that point, fuck me in the ass and then take it out, smash my face in with your dirty shitcock and make me lick off the feces and jizz at the same time. Honestly, at that point, do whatever the fuck you want. Talk about an insult. So when the guy says, I can't believe that they didn't find it, they didn't find it. I got two things for you. I want you to pay attention really, really closely. During the whole Save Dave, Pay the Man campaign, getting lots of tweets. Twitter was hot. Lots of tweets. I have a meeting. This is a week or so before, the infamous Saturday or where I find out. Maybe it was a Thursday or whatever. I have a meeting with Steve Blatter. And while I'm waiting for Steve Blatter, he has this little fucking dorky minion creepazoid, Quasimodo unibrow type of assistant. I forget the guy's name, but he was a little fucking Ewok. Never liked him. Well, apparently Steve Blatter told this guy, go on Twitter and find out everything about SiriusXM. I want all the tweets. I want all the tweets about the virus, O&A, Ron and Fez.
202.
So I'm waiting for Steve Blatter's meeting, and I'm waiting in his little Quasimodo guy's office. The Quasimodo guy gets up and walks out of the office, and I look on his desk, and I see all the printed tweets of the day. Folks, straight up, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I swear on everything that I own, everything that is holy in my life. I get up because I think I see my name on a bunch of papers that are stapled together. It's about 10 pages of tweets. Every tweet where people said, Save Dave, Pay the Man, he crossed out. Basically, Steve probably is sick and tired of looking at these tweets, so just cross them out. Didn't do the official, redaction like fucking Watergate, Nixon, where it's all black because it was just a pen crossing out. He said, Dave. But basically, that was just Steve Blatter skip these tweets. I want to explain why that's so wrong. So in other words, there were 10 pages of listeners, of audience giving feedback that SiriusXM, because it was inconvenient for them, decided let's cross it out, bury our head in the sand, and pretend like our audience doesn't care. That's how they handle business at SiriusXM. I saw it with my own eyes, along with the other thing, the pyramid structure, which at the top of the pyramid, folks, is celebrities. So if you're wondering why SiriusXM sucks, it's because they don't value it as an art form and medium original to itself. That's the way radio is. You can't just get every fucking stupid ass, by the way, has been washed up in most cases, celebrities like Lance Bass. When's the last time fucking NSYNC was big? But anyway, let's get these D-list has-been celebrities who have no concept that radio is its own art form. And then we're going to be confused. We're going to overpay them. They're not going to do anything cool or original. And we'll get our confused as to, well, we don't understand. So the two things that I witnessed in Steve Blatter's assistant's office, the pyramid scheme, make sure you put lots of stupid fucking celebrities at SiriusXM rather than radio people who actually care about creating something cool for the audience. And number two, if you are a SiriusXM subscriber, make sure you understand they don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about your feedback. They don't care about your input. They don't give a shit. I saw it with these eyes. They can't fucking sue me for that because I saw it.
I mean, I don't know if that's the law, but I believe you.
Well, here's the point. What kind of business is that?
No.
You know, the smart thing is he was right. Print out all of the SiriusXM tweets. But then he crosses out everything. And it was 85% of the tweets were saying hashtag save Dave, pay the man. So I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God, this is like the most evil company in the world. Evil.
I mean, yeah, it's shitty.
Aaron Berg, without my knowledge, asked, and I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm saying it was. I'm just stating the facts, Robert, as you know. Asked, hey, Dave and I are doing the show, Modern Day Man. Can we come in? And the response back, I suppose, was, well, it might be hard getting Dave in the building.
Yeah.
As if I'm the Unabomber. I sent an email to Opie, Don Wicklin, and Tim Sabian. And just, you know, I use words like you're a cockroach, you're a drunk, you're a pussy. Like, that's it. No. Words in an email? They have a guy fucking producing Sam's fucking show who kicked an intern in the balls off the air, literally assaulted someone. They hushed it up with the settlement. But they have someone who is producing for Sam, who kicked someone in the ball, who assaulted someone. I used colorful language in an email 14 years ago. What kind of pussy-ass liars are these people at SiriusXM?
Exactly. And you've never been involved in the mysterious disappearance of an ex-girlfriend and then took the money you raised for her funeral to go on vacation with her best friend.
Who did that?
Troy. Troy Kwan, the other producer for Sam's show. Anyway.
I don't know. SiriusXM, the biggest hypocrites on the planet. They allow people who have assaulted others, who have said the worst shit imaginable, who have threatened people. And it's just like randomly, like, well, we're not going to get David. Like, for what reason?
Let's
for
not
what
forget.
reason? Seriously, it's 2025. For what reason? I guarantee you they wouldn't be able to fucking tell us why. They wouldn't be able to.
They just know you're on the no-fly list. They don't know why.
Nevertheless,
but let's not forget, Sal did blackface there.
Nevertheless, all of the money that I fucking said is 100% true. From $37,000, $37,500, I thought I was going to get up to $55,000 at least. Oh no, we're going to give you a raise of $39,000. No, they didn't find it. Yes, I know. To the guy on Reddit, it's the same people who are like, I mean, anyone who thinks Dave shoving Fez's face into pizza, you know, is a work is just like stupid. That was real. No, it was a work. You're the one who's stupid. You know, I mean, we work people all the time. There'd be no reason to work that now, though. I'm not working anyone when I say that's the money. Those are the prices. I had done
Absolutely.
enough at that point where I should have been paid fairly. That's all I was asking for, but they never want to treat you fairly in radio. It's amazing.
Absolutely not. And it's what it goes back to what Ron always says. It's the t-shirts versus the suits. And like that's what it comes down to. They don't want to see a guy like you rise up through the ranks. Ron even kind of alludes to the numbers a little bit when he explains what was going on behind the scenes, just to back up everything you're saying. In the moment, he kind of brought up similar numbers. But the other thing
Oh,
he
he didn't
brings
bring
up
up any numbers. We were listening. He said that the guys, want me to stay. Okay, fine. Don't pay me like I'm a fucking making Nikes in a sweatshop, you cunts. Pay me what's right. You know what's right. Pay me what's right. Bladder and Cross, by the way, making six figures. Talk about two people who are completely expendable. They've never done anything or contributed anything to SiriusXM ever.
And I think that's kind of where some of the gray area is, because Ron sets it up like he wanted you to stay, Fez wanted you to stay, thought it was appropriate what you were asking for, that the two programming guys wanted to get you what you were asking for because they thought that you were worth that to stay. But it was the people above them, like the bosses at Sirius, that don't listen to the radio at all, that don't have any idea, that didn't want word getting out that a guy
I don't believe that Cross and Bladder went to bat for me in any way, shape, or form, because I only have my interactions with them.
That makes
Literally,
sense.
the Rob Cross story that I told you happened the Thursday before I got the news of the Rays on Saturday. So if Rob Cross on Thursday is making this, well, you guys aren't O&A and talking to me like I'm asking for Rob Cross to grow two more heads out of my shoulders when I'm saying that, could I have $60,000? And he's like, whoa, what? And then putting down Ron and Fez. No, I don't believe that Rob Cross and Steve Bladder were in my corner. No, I don't believe that. I don't. Maybe they wanted me to stay. So what I'm saying is I'm not saying that Ron's wrong. Maybe they wanted me to stay. They wanted me to stay like a sucker for $39,000. They wanted me to stay like a fucking asshole who didn't have self-worth. Folks, I have self-worth and self-value. I am a talented motherfucker, and I know that. I know that people can't produce the amount of fucking ideas that I can produce. Simple as that. Because I've seen it. I've witnessed it. I've worked with now fucking dozens of people in radio and all kinds of radio companies, not just SiriusXM, FM, AM, Westwood One, syndication, podcasting networks, satellite radio. I know there's very few people who, as a producer, can hold a candle to me. Sorry. But these guys were discouraging me from you sound crazy for wanting $60,000. They said that to me on Thursday. They're not going to fucking change by Saturday. So no, those guys didn't either want me to stay or they didn't want me to stay for a fair sum of money. They didn't want me to stay for a livable wage. They wanted to continue to take advantage and fuck me in the ass. But still deliver every goddamn day and make sure you're always the enthusiastic guy, the energy guy. You always got to be the up guy. We rely on you. You have to go 110 miles an hour for every fucking show. But let's pay you like a fucking dummy bitch.
And then Ron says part of what they said is that it's a producer thing. So Ron wrote a letter explaining the unique role that you played on the Ron and Fez show that's different than the other producers, is what I was getting to. So I was going to say Ron even kind of presented what you were talking about earlier, where you did all these
Bladder
facets.
never understood. Steve Bladder and Rob Cross never fucking understood the very stark, wide difference between production and producing. Producing is get something on the air. If you got something on the air, you produce today. If what you produce got people talking or got people saying that was fun, you really produced. Production is the fucking little monkeys in the back who no one knows their name because quite frankly, anyone can do it. I'll do a stinger, or I'll upload audio, or I'll create a best of. All these jobs have to happen. But you can be a brainless twerp and do those jobs. You can't be a brainless, uncreative twerp and do my job. They never understood the difference between producing and production. And it's to this day, it's deeply depressing. Because I'm like, you ever hear Board Gossip or Guy Geyerson or this or that? Well, yeah, but those are like characters on the air that I'm producing. I'm coming up with the idea. I'm writing it down. I'm finding music beds and sound effects to make a fun little radio segment. Then I'm performing it on the air. Sometimes afterwards, we have phone calls. That's being a producer. They're like, well, no, you're more of like a talent, an on-air talent.
Which was the other route Ron tried to get him to pay you through.
I know. What's crazy is they're telling me like, yeah, you're more like an on-air talent. Then pay me like that.
Yeah.
Nothing they said made sense with my pay. Fuck them to this day.
Now, the other thing Ron says before we throw it to some more audio that when we were listening in the car, I kind of said was like, nobody gets to attend their funeral. And like, this is kind of like you getting to attend your funeral a little bit. He said, Dave belongs in radio, but I get it. He had a family to take care of. Dave is going to be extremely successful. He's really funny and he works really hard. And I think like
he's not
that's
wrong with many of those things. Davey Mac Sports Program has gone on to win the iTunes Editorial Award for Best in Show, Best Independent Sports Podcast. We've won that award multiple times. That's why when I tell people award-winning Davey Mac Sports Program, it's not bullshit. And that includes this newest incarnation, folks, of the DMSP. We once again nominated for Best Independent Sports Podcast, so you should all be very well aware of that. Yeah, I mean, the Side Dave Show, one of the highest rated shows on Compound Media, period. I mean, that's a fact. Went over to 95.9 The Rat and gave him 10 years of #1 ratings until they had to fucking lay off 500 people. And once again, no one went to bat for me, because I had a closeted fucking Long Island douchebag who didn't understand my heterosexual New Jersey sensibilities and because he's also 11 years older than me, was completely threatened that I was going to take over the morning show because I should have just been given the morning show to myself. Nevertheless, that happened. It's just the pain of my existence is doing great work for people and then constantly always being taken for granted. It even happened with Riotcast. Riotcast, we did incredible numbers for them. Okay, Davey Mac Sports Program, the first version. And then Roy was going to leave his studio. He was going to shut down his studio. So we had nowhere to do it. And we asked him, can we do it at the Riotcast studios? And they said no. We're like, well, oh, okay. Left a horrible taste in my mouth. We did it on Zoom, in this 2014, 2015. We did it. And, but it was just fine. But then I said, well, I'm going to Compound Media now. After I made that announcement, I got a phone call from Bob Kelly, and I love Bob Kelly. Robert Kelly's great, but who literally said, hey, man, just wanted to say, I apologize. I hope you don't go to Compound, dude. And he says, we apologize for treating you guys like this. I can't believe they said no to your show. I didn't know about it until just now. No one told me. That was a horrible decision. You guys can use the studio anytime you want. I said, thank you for all that. Anyway, we're leaving. I already signed. You guys just ignored me for the last 6 months and ignored the fact that I have no contract and then wouldn't let me do a fucking show in your studio. Yeah, sorry about that, dude. Well, don't go. Did you really sign the papers? Yes, I did. Oh, dude. All right, I'm sorry. That's like Sirius XM, Riotcast, 95.9 The Rat. It's really enough to have a lot of weaker people jump off the George Washington Bridge. I have to tell you. Like, give us everything you got, Dave. Give us all of your enthusiasm and creativity. And then I do. And then there's success. But then 3 or 4 years go by, and let's just chalk it up and minimize Dave as he's crazy. and just fucking take for granted all the fucking creative shit that he does. They're. Can you get me a gun?
No. Maybe. We'll take a look during this audio we play, and we'll be back after these Ron and Fez clips.
Well, well, well. Look who came in. Earl Douglas.
Hiya, buddies.
Oh, thanks for coming to the funeral. Do you want to see if any of the old pants fit you?
Well, you got to come pay your respects, and even at a funeral.
What are you here? You here to talk to Rob Cross about a new opening?
You gotta make the rounds. You gotta.
Would you be open to coming back, Earl?
I'm open to it. Yeah, totally open to it.
You're fucking dead broke with no job. You're open to anything.
Dave, he left his jacket, and you're here.
There's a puppet upstairs too.
Oh no, not oldie. I'm gonna miss those puppet shows. Now I'm going to dive on every fucking little Twitter that he has. I'm still doing the anti-Elton John thing. That fucking Elton John. Who would know that the gay person could be a gayist? Oh, I like this. A racist against gay people. A gayist. I guess he's a self-hating gay.
It's just very confusing. I mean,
Earl, you're against gay marriage, right?
I'm pretty much against marriage, period.
Right.
At this point.
Why wouldn't anybody? Are you still in your big relationship?
Oh, yes, I am. Hi, Jess.
Love with Jess, huh?
Yeah, it's going very well. But
let me ask you this, because I think she's fabulous. But when you think of yourself, Hicks, me, would you ever consider a train? Three buddies.
No!
The three buddies get back together.
Lay the hammer down.
Not in a fucking room at the same time like a bunch of fucking gays.
No.
Just, we only see each other in the hall when we high five and head in.
We just
lay it down.
Just do the head nod.
I don't care if I'm even first as long as you leave the ace alone until I get to it.
No.
I just need to be first for my part of it. I don't need to be first overall.
Oh, God.
You're deeply in love now, though, huh, Earl?
I'm very happy. I things aren't... I mean, between us, things are fabulous. Everything else in my life is kind of weird, but...
Why? What else is going wrong?
Well, just, I lost... Speaking of Glenn Ross...
I know.
That's all I kept echoing in my brain. Here's the guy who wrote, ABC, Always Be Closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm very happy in this relationship. Extremely happy.
This is the longest relationship you've ever been in that I know of.
Yeah, working.
How long has it been now?
3 weeks.
3 months.
3 months. Well, this is the longest relationship you've ever been in with a woman.
Hey, never been with a man, no.
So did you bring your resume today?
I might have one handy somewhere.
Always do.
Not always have a handy somewhere, because that's different.
One of the former O&A interns sent me his resume.
Who's that?
Brock.
Brock's great. Well, are you against gay marriage? Based on your religion?
From a religious standpoint, yes, I'm against gay marriage. But yeah, my feelings on marriage, I think, let's think about it. Like, what, 6 out of 10 marriages don't work out anyway?
Mm-hmm. But look at your parents. Look at Big Girl.
Yeah, they're more people look at them now, how funny that, they've been married, it'll be, 52 years in August. People look at them funny, like, you've been married that long? People going through 3 and 4 marriages. That's the norm now.
Let me ask you something, Earl. When you get back into this relationship, when it started to be intimate, how crazy was it since you don't even masturbate? Did you have a fucking build-up that was unbelievable?
Oh, God.
You almost blow the top of her head off?
We have a very good relation.
How much jizz?
I don't know. I didn't count it.
Do you wear
I have a quart bucket standing next to me anywhere?
Do you wear a condom like a gay man?
We
Raw dog.
We're fine.
What kind of protection you doing?
Back
Back off, jack off?
None.
You don't come in her, though, do you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Really?
So you're trying to have a baby?
Nice.
Yeah. When you're doing that, Earl, you're trying to have a baby.
Well,
what is it about black people don't understand where babies come from?
evaluate it because it feels so good.
That's exactly the shit that fucking Dave said. So you're trying to have a baby?
No, we're not trying to have a baby.
The last time
You're having sex with her, unprotected sex.
Yes.
You're coming in her.
Yes.
You're trying to have a baby.
We're not
Yes.
Well, she can't. So.
Oh, she can't.
Yes.
How old is she?
She's she's actually my age bracket. And I had a birthday last week.
Oh, you're the big 40?
I'm the big 40.
Loady, look who's 40.
I feel no different than I was when I turned 30.
It wasn't a nerve-wracking thing for you?
No, not at all. And again, I'm like, I don't feel 40. I always joke emotionally I'm still 12. So,
but physically you're 60 because you fucking came in here walking like the old man with a cane.
The physical part's a different story. Yes.
Earl Douglas back on the scene.
I'm sorry.
Well, it doesn't matter to us. You'd have to convince down the hall. They think you're fucking nuts. They think you're batshit. They still tell Earl stories.
Yeah, they one of them came in and said, just make sure you tell us when Earl comes around beforehand.
When?
I don't know, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to eat anybody. What? What?
Pull a knife on them.
And now they know you're trying to become a father.
Here's Joe. You're in Memphis.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Anyway, sorry about that, Ron. I'm wondering, Earl, how did your conversation go down with your girlfriend in regards to you titty fucking the porn star on Opie Anthony?
It happened a long time ago.
How's his job?
Happened a long time ago.
A room full of men. Sure.
We all have pass.
John, you're in Fez. I can't hear you, sir. Oh, I don't know whether you saw this story. It's out of Virginia. There was this thing of some, I believe, black people throwing a woman into a van, a young girl into a van, and driving away with her. Amber Alert went up. They ended up finding the teenage girl in Jacksonville, Florida, with her family. She wasn't fighting off a kidnapping, but resisting a move to Florida. So the drama was this. They're in some supermarket. They see black people throwing a young girl into the back of a van and driving away crazy with her. And it's because she wouldn't want to move.
It's this whole idea of black equals perp. You know what I mean? It's just regardless of the situation, black equals perp. Always. And that's something will always be there.
I don't know what the fuck it is about moving for kids that's so traumatic. It should be the greatest thing in the world. You should be able to say to your kid, hey, for the next month, tell as many lies as you can, and then start to get your character together for the new fucking place that you're going to, and lie to them. You're going to get a do-over. Kids take that as a negative. With an adult, a move feels like the greatest thing in the world. I love a move.
And maybe it's that whole first time experience where, everything is always so rooted.
You got to smack a kid, throw them back in the van, and they're going to be better off for it. I think the worst thing that you can do with a kid is have them grow up in the same town their whole life. That happened to me, and it was like, when the fuck fuck do I get out of here? Why can't I have some military dad flying me all around the world doing different shit? I don't know what. I think a lot of times the mothers get it into the kids. You know, and it could go either way. Some kids actually say, oh, the reason why I'm able to do what I am now is because I got to move and start fresh and meet new people, get new experiences. And then other kids are like, because my parents moved a lot when I was younger, I started shooting dope in my eye. They're always fucking blaming things. Hicks, I know you didn't move at all, right?
Oh, no, we moved from one apartment to another in the same building.
Was that exciting when you got the double bedroom?
Oh, it was awesome. Got to move a couch with my dad.
I think it's the process of it where it's the parents telling the kid, you know, that you're going to a new school and you're going to make friends.
That's fucking great.
Yeah,
who doesn't want to go to a new fucking school? This is why you can say to every one of your teachers, oh, by the way, you're leaving. Fuck you, fuckstick. Eat this dick. Why would you want to stay in the same school? Why wouldn't you want fucking new friends? Here's what you could do. You could take somebody's personality, take the cool kid and the personality that you're at now, adopt that completely when you get to the new fucking community. And you're like, this whole thing of, oh, you're wearing the wrong sneakers. All you got to do is say to the other guys is, the fuck are you guys wearing these sneakers for? You look like a bunch of fucking shit kickers. Adidas, that's the way to go. You got to run DMC this shit.
Yeah, I almost moved to Chattanooga once when I was in the middle of high school, and I always thought about if that would have happened, it would have been awesome. Just a kid from New York in Chattanooga would have been fucking great.
Can I tell you who you would have been in Chattanooga? You would have been Footloose down there. You would have been exactly fucking and I'm serious. Show up, fucking moving around a little bit, and everybody's going, who's the fucking new guy? All of a sudden, they're fucking broads that you never met before. They didn't see you with boogers hanging out your nose. And you show up and start footloosing those fuckers. Adam, Connecticut, you're in Fez.
Hey, I think I moved when I was a kid. I was 13, and it was the worst. And I only think it's the worst because I started a new school at the beginning of the year. Nobody knows you're a new kid except, you know, when they look at you. But if you start off in the middle of the school year and you're the new kid, I think it's a lot easier.
So you like being a new kid?
Oh, yeah. Loved it.
Yeah, I don't know why some people act like, oh, being a new kid is the worst fucking thing in the world. Every fucking time I was in school, a new kid would come in and the chicks would like him. You know why? No kid! No equals good. I don't know why we're locked into our kids. I grew up here, and I want you to grow up here. Chris, Washington, you're on Run of Fez.
Ronnie B, sound like $1 million.
Feel like one, buddy. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Actually, I moved around a ton my whole life, and it's helped me out personally and professionally. You get a ton of connections, and I've been involved with tons of people who've never moved, and they're just basically just stay in the same town.
Yeah, I mean, that becomes the type of people who don't fucking get to see the world at all. Here's Ezra. You're on Run of Fez.
Earl, I wanted to ask you, how does it feel to lose the record for the longest stint as a producer to work for Ron and Fez to Dave?
Well, that's the thing. What if they take him back?
They're not gonna, but Earl, how's that feel to lose that record?
I mean,
was Dave the record holder? Do we know that for a fact?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
All right. Well, let's face it, that one will stay. That's a keeper for life. Because Hicks, on the other hand, look at him.
Yeah, I'm falling apart.
Scott, Oklahoma, you're on Run of Fez. Scott.
Yeah, hey, Earl, I was just wondering, where does a gay man like yourself find a beard these days?
I didn't find a beard, and I'm not gay.
What?
Ever.
How many nights a week you go out with this girl?
A lot of weekends, and, you know, every once in a while I'll come during the week. To her place.
Came here. Not a condom.
Stop.
He doesn't use condoms. Black men don't like a condom. Too much like shackles.
Just buy a shitload of morning after pills and just feed them to her every morning.
Stop. I'm
What?
sorry, Jess. I love you, Jess.
We all love Jess.
Hell yeah.
She knows. She's got to know how the show works. 1 minute it's David Mamet, and the next minute it's this fucking talk. And the next minute we're playing Footloose. Jason, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a junior high teacher, and I think I see these kids move in throughout the year. I think the one thing is a lot of them won't finish a year. You know, some of these kids that move all the time are switching, and they just never fit in, and they are moving to 3 schools in a year.
Guess what?
They just don't have a stability.
You know what I would say to the kids? Fitting in is for fucking losers. Who wants to fucking fit in a school in Chattanooga? Get in, make your moves, get out. Move! Stay moving the whole fucking time. Hey, I love to do plugs here. I want to plug something, Fezzy. We're doing a little show we like to call Unmasked on Wednesday with Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore is going to be here as we can listen to the rise, the fall, and now the re-rise of the Pauly Shore career. He's going to be here Wednesday at 3 o'clock, so go over to 202 Friends if you want to try to get on the list. 202 Friends. It used to be Davey Mack who took care of the list, so we'll have to move that around and see who gets put on the new list. But 202 Friends on Twitter is the way to roll right now. Unmasked. Ron Bennington and Pauly Shore. Your big show, Central Park, last night. You hosted Simon and Garfunkel. How did that go over for you?
It was it was the Black Rock Coalition's 25th anniversary concert.
And you've been there the entire time.
22 of the 25.
Have you really been with it for 22 years?
22 years, yes, since 88.
And you haven't made a tick in people acknowledging Black Rock.
I don't know. We had a packed park.
How many people do you think you did out there?
I think the capacity is a couple thousand.
I just rolled in last night. I'm like, do I want to go up and catch the end of this, or is it too goddamn hot?
It was really,
it was a hot day.
It was a hot Saturday afternoon, but the music was hotter too.
I like the idea. And you were doing stage announcements, I saw.
Yeah, I co-hosted with Miranda Davis, who's the president of the BRC, and it was a great time. We had 3 great bands: Pillow Theory, Living Colour, and Ebony Bones from London.
Who closed the show?
Living Colour closed.
They kick ass?
Oh, just destroyed the place. All 3 bands were amazing. And CX Kidtronic was spinning in between. He spun like classic hip-hop in between sets. So,
what do you mean by spin, Earl? I don't really, I grew up white. What do you mean spin? Was he up there doing a spin class?
No, he was spinning records. Vinyl.
Bodies or something?
Did he play Spin Me Around, Round, Round, Round?
Spin the hits?
You ought to fucking say, look, you want to play Spinning the Hits? I'll take you on right now, son of a bitch.
It was a great show. Fantastic show.
Gabriel, in New York, you're on Fez.
Hey there, boys.
Yeah.
I moved in the 8th grade, and I decided to wear Hawaiian shirts every day that year. So all the kids thought I was Hawaiian.
See, that's the gimmick. And then if you find out that you're fucking movies, that you're moving, just say to the kids, hey, I'm moving. Where to? Hollywood. I'm going to be living in Hollywood and acting in a film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So fuck you assholes. And maybe you'll get a handy on the way out the door. Why does everything got to be so negative?
Look at it this way. They'll be talking about you when you get there, and they'll be talking about you long after you're gone.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter. You'll already be gone. Even if they'll say later, hey, that kid was a liar, they're going to fucking forget. Doesn't matter at that point.
It's too many little things. Like you show up at first day of school, and the teacher can't even get your name right in front of everyone.
Yeah, that's the big fucking thing. You want the teacher to know who you are. You can fucking show up at the new school, right? And go like this. Oh, yeah, my name's Todd Hillier, but everyone calls me the Shark. How are you? Yeah, just refer to me as the Shark. Why do they call you the Shark? I got bit by a shark once during Shark Week. My dad is the director of Shark Week. Just go in there, lying your ass off. Jay, New York, Ron and Fez show.
How you doing, Ronnie?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to call Black Earl out on this band Pillow Theory, man. He highly recommended him. I gave him a listen on iTunes, and they suck, man. He just likes them because they're black.
All right, Earl. Is this fucking true? You give him bad stuff?
No, not at all. They're a fantastic band. Become very good friends with Kelsey Warren.
All right, who's not? Let me become good friends with Kelsey Warren.
They're a fantastic band. Their album's called Outpatients.
What about your girlfriend, Janelle Monáe?
Janelle Monáe's album's great. It's fantastic.
Guess who loves them now? Hicks.
That's good shit.
Hicks loving it. He calls it the real shit. Not the bullshit, the real shit.
Uncut.
Hey, when Mammoth said fuck, I should have went after him. I go, look, man, this isn't one of your potty fucking movies, all right? You're on 202 now. You don't bring that fucking potty mouth of yours in.
We're class over here.
I adore that, man. Seriously. How you say to a grown man, I adore it. I adore what you do.
You wrote Glengarry Glenn Ross.
Yeah, he fucking did, so get that straight.
Totally forgot about House of Games.
House of Games is unfucking believable. Wag the Dog's amazing.
And, the other one, Spanish Prisoner, is...
I love Spanish Prisoner, too. It reminds me of talking to Earl. That's what it's like, because you're always running the long and short con. All right, we'll take a break here. Right back in a couple moments. It's the Ron and Fez show. Terry, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, what's up, buddies? Ronnie got to go to the big BRC show at Central Park this Saturday and met the infamous Earl Douglas at the gate. Earl, you put on a great show, man. That second band, Ebony Bones, was top-notch. Really blows away. And you throw a great concert. But, man, stick to the concerts. Bring back East Side Dave. Come
That
on.
could be your thing, Earl. Why don't you become the agent for East Side Dave?
Well, as far as, like, negotiating deals, and... I'm not sure if he would want me, but,
Why wouldn't he want you?
I think he would actually take Earl as his agent.
Why wouldn't he want you?
I don't know. We have this weird... We've always had a weird relationship. It's kind of this love-hate thing.
You made out that one time, right?
Yeah, that's right.
No,
That's a fucking weird relationship. Look, I want to explain something to you. You're not at his funeral, Earl.
No.
He's just going off looking for a new gig. Now suddenly you're like, oh, I guess I knew Dave as well as anyone. The way he would bounce into a room.
He's got to do what he's got to do.
How he would Twitter me when I'd get real angry. I heard you say that you hated him before.
No, there were moments he would just get me so mad.
You choked him out multiple times.
I
did.
did choke him out a couple.
You did choke him out.
He said some very disparaging things about my family, and I got a little angry.
Why, your grandmother getting fucked in heaven? What's the big problem with that?
That is what he said. Now don't start getting mad at him.
The impression was dead on.
You know we all miss him right now. Davey Mack. I'll tell you this. Whoever he gets to work with next, they're going to go, wait, didn't I throw an apple in that fucking trash can? Where is it now? Hey, what happened to my cupcake?
There were pizza crusts in there.
And with Dave gone, Ron does the only natural thing, which is look for your instantaneous replacement. And who better to bring in to potentially take over for you than Black Earl Douglas?
Well, there you go. By the way, I feel a lot better getting all those things off my chest.
I'm glad I just kind of gave you the space to take the ball and run with it.
Very good. That was your best work that you've done thus far on Tales from the Satellite, because I needed to get that off my chest. And now I feel fantastic going forward for the rest of the episode. Like I said, I've been in a wonderful mood all day long. But it's just, sometimes we think about some of these things and we go, and some of these things I haven't thought of in years. And you go, holy shit. But now I feel good. Earl Dougie going in there. That's pretty funny. I like that. That's a good deal right there.
And kind of funnily, Earl says he has a girlfriend now. And it's almost like when he left, he became you. He became the cool guy dating the fun chicks. Now he's back.
Earl?
And so they kind of go with that vibe and they go, Earl, are you trying to get her pregnant? And
I never believed that she existed. I never saw her.
I kind of agree with you because
Yeah.
Earl's excuse for why he's allowed to nut inside of her is she can't have a baby.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever met any women who can't have a baby. They really don't like it when you broadcast it on international radio. You know, they tend to not take that well.
Well, I always suspected a Tyler Durden Fight Club. Earl's gone fucking bonkers, and he's inventing this whole imaginary person that's probably gonna, force him to start some underground boxing club. But yeah, I still don't believe that she existed. I got to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I'm a doubting Thomas when it comes to Earl and the girlfriend. I feel like we were getting worked.
I could see that. Again, especially because he says she's barren.
Well, I mean, she's not around anymore, right?
No, not at all.
And we never saw pictures of her?
I never saw any pictures.
Well, there we go.
Probably Earl in a dress.
There we go. Oh, wait, hold on. This just in. His girlfriend's name was Kaiser Sose. Well, that's why. That would make sense. Because, yeah, the girlfriend always made the world pretend like she never existed. And like that, she's gone. All right.
So they talked to Earl a bit. It's back and forth. Ron does bring up Earl's HR liability versus Dave's HR liability, which is kind of funny to think that now rehired by the Ron show, which is Bennington, is Earl Douglas, who was way more explosive, way more problematic, and literally an HR nightmare versus you. And I think in light of what you said earlier, that's amazing.
I'm not going to cry about it. I feel much better after unloading on Rob Cross and Steve Bladder. I will say that. That's made me feel good. But a less cool person could have fucking sued that entire company when Earl strangled me the first time, which was not a planned out bit. I just happened to be the fucking Joker, and I'm just going to go with it because this is fantastic, and I'm going to laugh like a fucking serial killer. But I never signed up for a man choking me. He did it instinctively, impulsively. He literally committed an act of violence on me. I could have gotten him into a lot of trouble. I could still probably get him into a lot of trouble. I'm not pressing charges. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble. I just find it amazing that I'm Jack the Ripper with SiriusXM, and you have countless examples of people who have actually kicked, hit, strangled others who work for SiriusXM currently.
It turns out sticks and stones and kicks to the nutsacks may break your bones, but words hurt worse than anything.
Jesus Christ. They fucking think I'm Hitler for saying that Opie's a blonde douche in an email.
You said you were going to punch him. His staff actually punched people. I was
keeping that out. You don't help me oftentimes.
I mean, I just was going to point out, literally, the violence actually happened by people who still work there.
I know. I was trying to make them forget about that one tiny little, as some say, physical threat. It wasn't. I said, Opie, if you're walking down the sidewalk and we're on the same side, if you see me, you better cross the fucking street. That's what I said. That's actually what I said. And from there, they took it as, he just threatened him.
That's not a threat. You could have been
fucker.
You could have given him a blowjob, a hug. That's not necessarily a threat.
I could have given him a talking to, which is protected by freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But they took that and they ran with it.
I apologize. I didn't realize we didn't want to bring that up. My bad. But
well, you heard me bring up that situation several times, and I didn't bring up the fact that I told Opie, cross the road if you ever see me, which, by the way, I'm actually proud of. Even if he didn't do anything, I'm proud that I, in some ways, fucking pulled like a Clint Eastwood, goddamn, Wild West I might as well had the words like saloon and sundown. Like, Opie, if you see me at sundown, your gun better be drawn. But yeah, if you ever come down to the same side of the road, you better cross it. If you see me, you're coming, like a Johnny Cash song. And that fucking pussy should never leave that. Or he should never live that down, folks. He's the one who initiated it. Talk about a pussy, a coward, running his mouth for years, shitting on people. You give an email to this fragile dork, and he goes screaming to security. Fucking pussy ass bitch. Opie Hughes, and I maintain that. If you got an issue with me, let's settle it like men inside the octagon at the next UFC fight. We'll be on the prelims. I got a connection to Dana White.
Everything, the one everybody can watch. I love it. That it's mass exposure.
I'll fight Opie in the goddamn octagon. I'll get my contact who knows Dana White. We'll set it up on the prelims.
Hell yeah.
And no, this doesn't count as drama casting. We are doing a fucking, retrospective show here. So sometimes these, topics and peoples comes ups. That's all.
And to see a guy like that get that fired up over a Gordon Lightfoot lyric, basically, sundown, you better take care if I catch you outside of Times Square. Like, that's all he said.
Yeah.
And he loved parody songs. That's how he picked his partner.
It was soft of these fucking cowards to run. And basically, fine. You guys can have that now for the rest of your life. I've made all of SiriusXM look like bitches. Because they're treating me like Darth Vader. Oh, shit. Careful. You've now enhanced my own fucking masculinity, you goddamn pussy-ass bitches.
I think it's hilarious that that's why you're not allowed in, given everything that's gone down in that building over the years. Like, it's so two people tried to fight each other on air.
Anybody? I got choked by Earl. I got kicked in the stomach by Master Poe. I got fucking the O&A interns tried to, wrangle me and shave my head, and that was very physical. I literally had to fight my way out of it, but there were 6 of those absolute sissies. And so I was literally able to fight my way out of it. I was able to basically take a 5-on-1 and fight those guys and make them fucking run out of the studio. Because I was like, fuck it. There's 5-on-1 and they're being physical with me. I'm going to start throwing haymakers. And if O&A guys get punched in the face, I'm going to have a great fucking thing to say to HR. Yeah, they're tying me to a chair, strangling me, and hitting me. So I defended myself with my fists. And trust me, all those O&A pussies ran the fuck out of the studio.
And let's not even forget probably the biggest thing of all time, a B-list celebrity sent you to the hospital.
Jay Moore, not a B-list celebrity anymore. He's fucking billionaire Jay.
Yeah, he is. You want to hear something funny?
$10 billion the Buss family sold the Lakers for. And he just got married to Jeannie Buss.
Do you want to hear something very funny?
What?
I heard him call into Ron and Fez on a previous episode about the Clippers situation and how they shouldn't have to sell the team. If he ever had any ties to a team, he wouldn't get rid of it because it's such a good investment. It's just going to make money over time. And his new wife literally just sold her team.
Yeah.
It's so funny to watch that
sold it for $10 billion. And in my opinion, with the NBA's decreasing ratings, that might have been one of the most brilliant sales, because we'll see. The basketball has not done well the last 2 years ratings wise and money wise. They're off. Anyway, let's
No. I did hear she's going to buy the WNBA
let's stay
team
with
going
this.
to
When I
Cleveland.
go, let's stay with this. Go back into this.
Or you could let me get my one-liners off every once in a blue fucking moon. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. The whole episode, every time I go for a joke. Nope, let's get back on topic. I know it'll take 5 fucking seconds, but God forbid you try to bring a little joy.
What was your joke?
No, at this point, it's dead.
I want to hear it.
I was saying, I heard she's going to buy the WNBA team going to Cleveland. That's a solid investment. It was going to be a fun joke. We were going to go right back into it.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes it's like I feel like you're doing something else.
Yeah, no, I know. But sometimes you just got to trust the guy you're playing with.
No, I hear you.
So anyway, in the episode, Fez, who at the time, and some of the speculation on the Reddit was that you and him were fighting a lot on air at the time, and perhaps he didn't care, which I think is a complete misread of the situation, especially when you hear in his own way during the next part, he keeps going, well, Dave says he's going to get a second job. Why didn't he just keep the job here? And people are like making it seem like Fez is being like not understood, but like I think he just misses you and wishes that there was a way they could have worked it out to keep you. How did you feel Fez's support was during this time?
On with on the episode that we're listening to right here, the audio.
No, in the Save Dave movement, like behind the scenes.
I don't
because
know.
we hear what Ron was doing.
Yeah, I don't know. I know I was sandbagged by Rob Cross. That's all I knew. That I was sandbagged. That Rob Cross and Steve Blatter never understood me at all, and I felt very alone in this whole process. And that was confirmed when 2 days before it, Rob Cross came in, fucking shat all over me, shat all over my request, my crazy request of going from $37,500 to $60,000, and then shat on the Ron and Fez show, which he did. By when I'm saying, well, I know that they're for a fact that they're an O&A guy who making $75,000, $80,000. You go, well, you're not up. That's O&A. Yeah. And we're Ron and Fez. We're doing just as good, if not better.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I have that belief, but it's the fucking facts. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, he might have been there. I don't know. It seems like he was poking some holes into my logic. How about this? Okay. There are times in life where I step up and do the right thing, or I demand to be treated a certain way, respectfully. And if you're not going to meet me there, I'm not the crazy one. Like sometimes people do have self-worth, and $37,500 was extremely underpaid. That's it, extremely. And I deserved more. And there is self-worth attached to that. And yeah, I was going to do other work because I didn't have time to leave my house at 7 a.m, get there at 9:30 for a noon show that ends at 3. We're in the studio with post-show meetings till 5:36 p.m. Then there's shit we got to do in the actual Ron Fez office for an hour or two.
At least.
Leave at 7 and get home at 9:30. And I'm doing all of that for $37,500 when other people aren't doing a fraction as I am and are getting paid twice the amount. And I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I'm okay with that. There does come a time where even if it means, okay, you're going to be out of this job. Well, okay. But you're not doing right by me. You're treating me like an asshole.
And they broke it down a little bit earlier, Pepper and Ron. You were commuting 4 hours a day to do a job that was paying you $37,000 a year. And it was also costing you over $6,000 a year to do the commuting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Each way, the bus rides $20. So you're talking $40. Then you got to get on the subway. Yeah. And then there's another $10, $15 in gas on the tolls that I had to get to just to get to the bus stop.
Exactly. And for a while, you are absolutely a team player, right? You could go, I get it, guys. The money's not here right now. The money's not. But then life puts you in a position where you can't be that guy. You need to be paid what you've put the time and effort into. You need to be rewarded for that effort you put in.
By 2010, I should have been making more than $37,000 with the 5 years that I had contributed on the air. Okay? And if they don't see that, fine. Then that's why we parted ways.
And the other thing callers kind of bring up in this part before we get to the last segment, which is really the tear jerking tribute to you, but is not just the effect on the Ron and Fez show, right? Specifically on air, but all the behind the scenes stuff too. Like they have a contest where people want to come to the Unmasked. If we find out, guess who used to run the list to see who was allowed to come to the Unmasks? Eastside Dave. Something that never gets brought up on air or anything like that, because when you did it, it wasn't a problem. The only reason we knew Earl did it before you is he fucked it up all the time.
Yeah, and I wrote the questions. For instance, the questions at the end of Unmasked, I would write 5 questions on index cards and give them to people because you want to have questions at the end. And unfortunately, a lot of people go to these things and they're shy. And then all of a sudden, you're sitting there with a fucking guest and there's no questions and everyone feels like an asshole. So I would do that. And sometimes that would actually yield some big time shit. Like when when Ron unmasked Richard Lewis, who I'm a huge fan of, and said, I always thought Paul Reiser ripped you off and Mad About You was like a ripoff of your NBC show that predated Richard Lewis's NBC sitcom, which predated Mad About You by 2 years. And Paul Reiser stole everything in it. And so when I asked that question, but I had whatever, fucking Bobo or Big A or somebody read the question, Richard Lewis ended up going off, and that made like TMZ and shit. So, yeah, there's stuff that I did off the air that I think people may be surprised. I didn't do the uploading of audio into Delete because any fucking, retarded zombie could do that.
Earl.
Yeah, I did the stuff that requires thinking and creativity.
Yeah, and they were saying even beyond like that, just the unity of the Ron and Fez get-togethers. Like you were the guy that kind of was able to go to all the different boards, talk to the people.
Well, yeah, I would 100% say I'm much more of a people person than Chris Stanley or Earl.
Absolutely. And then the other thing people pointed out was even bigger. You were kind of, as you pointed out with Sam, the funny gap between the O&A and the Ron and Fez show. Like, yes, when you got an Afro show, was it amazing? Absolutely. But that happened, what, once a quarter maybe? But you could get some Dave crossover onto O&A maybe once a week, if not more than that. And Correct. You were kind of that guy that bridged the two audiences big time.
Oh, yeah. But listen, O&A made no secret. They too were bored of their football roster sized, amount of producers, because even though they had 53 guys producing for them, each one was more boring than the other, which is why they called in Mariano Rivera, the Dave man, to fucking add a bunch to their show. They told me this.
Absolutely. And that ingratiated the two audiences with each other.
I'm working 3 goddamn shows over here. I'm working Ron and Fez. I'm doing O&A, and then I'm doing special delivery starring Sam and Dave on Saturday nights, and then into Davey Mac Sports Program XL on Saturday nights. You'd think Sirius XM would have been like, hey, maybe we should give this guy a little more money. No, $1,500 for the whole year. That'll get him all confused. Like, hey, asshole, here's your fucking raise, you fucking loudmouth, red-headed cunt.
On that note, we're going to let him listen to the final tribute to Dave.
That's
we'll be
it?
back to discuss it right after this.
Chris Nolan said he will not have another Joker in the new Batman, but he is going to have Penguin, Bookworm will be the 2 villains.
Well, thank goodness that Chris Nolan is listening to reason.
Thank goodness.
Because another Joker, he tries to create a realistic world of Batman.
I don't know about that.
And if
I don't know, would you consider it realism, Earl?
You got a dude dressed as a bat running around a city at night.
Talking like this.
In a tank. They can't find him.
I don't know. Nobody here can seem to find out. TMZ knows when the fuck people are going anywhere. And no one can figure out where the Batcave is in Chicago.
So if anyone else playing the Joker...
It is realistic. Look at my nose. It's made out of really hard rubber that stops bullets.
And the mental institution, there's a breakout every couple weeks. So there's constantly convicts running around the city.
It's a corrupt town.
One of the other things too is like you don't even get like if you're let out of like you have a mental institution, you still got to do jail. Like if a crazy person fucking rapes someone, they're not just at some nice mental institution. They're at jail. And a shrink comes by every once in a while and shoots them in the neck with some fucking medicine.
12 Monkeys.
No, 12 Monkeys makes me miss Dave. I actually am in a Dave missing mood today. It's funny because I don't know why I am, because he missed 100 days last year, so I should be used to it by now.
Kid's still sick.
Yeah, Earl, why you have to fucking say something like that?
No,
like it's
I'm
like
saying-
that. Why is that a joke to you?
It's not a joke. I said it completely out of concern.
But yeah, but why would you even bring it up? And you go like this, kid's still sick, and you gave me a little wink and the okay sign.
No.
And grab his crotch.
You better not grab your dick when you're talking about Stan. That boy's been through hell. Hey, you know what? Maybe we could do this. They are... Enro, I know you're a giant fan of Flash Forward, the TV show. You never missed an episode. You watched every single one. That show got canceled. We never found... They were actually going into another Flash Forward when they canceled us. We were flashing again. So their fans are so angry, they are having flash forwards, I believe this week, all over the place. I'm trying to do the one in New York. You go in front of the ABC building, and then you fall down like you're dead. What if we tell them, if Dave doesn't get back, they're going to let some kind of gas through it. We'll tell the bosses here, and then we'll just get the flash forward people to come here and faint. And then we'll scream, "Oh my God, boss, they're gassing this place."
2 minutes and 18 seconds ought to do it.
Earl, you coming to the Polish Shore unmasked?
3 o'clock? Yeah, I can come by.
Well, yeah, of course. You're totally open 24 hours a day. Except for when you're writing your resume. Why don't you just take Dave's resume, scratch it out, and put your name at the top, you prick. Why don't you come here? You know when I let the audience ask questions? Why don't you do who's your favorite black comedian? Why don't you do the Black Comedy Coalition?
The black comics are doing just fine.
No one's heard of Chris Rock. It is sad.
The funny part, I did have a Paul Mooney sighting.
Where?
I was at an awards banquet that a friend of mine, he runs a magazine, was throwing. And at the end of it, we're walking out, and I go to head to the bathroom. And standing at the bar completely by himself was Paul Mooney, just like completely, because everyone's in like suits and everything.
Yeah, he's been standing completely by himself since Richard Pryor died.
And he was
then
just there.
before that happened, he was going like this. Can I get you salsa, Richard? Anything? Call you a cab?
And he was just there by the bar, and we said hello, and I said
He
hello,
doesn't
and I kept
drink,
moving.
though.
No, he doesn't. He was having he was drinking a Coke.
So, don't fucking start off some kind of Paul Mooney's an alcoholic thing. This is a new Polish Shore movie. He's adopting a kid in Africa. I swear one of them looks exactly like you. Here's what fucking kills me. When you think Africa, right? You think guys are still not bare-assed, but still somewhat close to being natives. This fucking looked exactly like East St. Louis. And people were grilling on, like, fucking screen doors. Like, you know how you do in your neighborhood, Earl. When you get your grills out.
Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Where my grills at? Where my grills at?
That reminds me so much of you, Earl. I want to hear that song. Hey, what's that guy's name who does this?
Reggie Watts.
New York Magazine did a big piece on him.
That's awesome.
You're one step ahead.
Trying.
I know you are.
Well, actually, Davey Mack is the one who sent that to me.
Oh, Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ. How I miss that fucking boy. You know what I used to call him? My gentle angel. My gentle angel of love, I always said. That's the thing about me. I never take anything for granted. And I always knew, I'm like, this time I have with Dave, I'm going to keep it just fucking perfect and every day cherish it. Let's go over here to Aaron. You're on Run Fez.
Hey, Ronnie B. Hey, we all know Dave is setting up his new cubicle at Handy Lift today.
Why you gotta be a fucking prick?
See,
Why you gotta be a son of a bitch prick? Don't you know I cherished every moment I had with that redheaded angel? I used to call him my ginger statue of love. What's going on? You passing out, Earl?
Yeah, I guess.
You're over there fucking winking and blinking. I thought maybe there was a fucking hit behind me.
No, slight headache.
I'm serious. We're in a fucking restaurant right now. I dive on the floor. Looked like you were setting me up.
No, I never said.
What do you think? You got a little brain tumor?
No, it's the mild headache. It's just a little irritating.
Hungover?
No.
You know the average age of a black man in America, Earl? 40.
Oh, boy.
You know the number one death for black men?
I would assume heart attack.
Nope. Bullets.
Hey.
Bullets is number one. Black on black crime is number one death. Number two death is white on black crime. 3, I believe it's Asian on black crime. And then 4th, and this surprised me, for black men in dynasty, I think, bit by police dogs. Bit to death by a police dog is a very high killer.
That's not included in white on black crime?
No. Dirty Works comes in at number 6. I'm a fool to use your dirty works.
You weren't even close with the heart attack.
There's a lot of on black.
There is a lot of on black. There's a dog on black crime is fucking huge in this country.
I didn't think the dog thing would be so popular.
Where are you right now, Lakers or Celtics?
I still pick Lakers.
Yeah.
I picked the Lakers in 6.
Surprised with that loss last night, though, right?
Yeah, because the Lakers had a pretty balanced attack.
Yeah.
You got 21 points out of Andrew Bynum, I think, last night, and who's hurt. So I was a little surprised that it was so easy.
That craziness that they come up to with that giant fucking Chinese lantern showing their entire history on it, I was rooting against them, though. Celtics could win this thing, though. Don't put them down.
I'm a Knicks fan, so this is the ultimate hell. The two teams you hate the most are in the finals.
I hate to say this to you, Earl, but this is the Dodgers versus the Yankees of basketball. Your Knicks are here's finally one time your fucking New York, your local New York team is not included.
One of the few.
These two teams right there are the best. Let's go over here to Bill. Bill, Georgia, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, I had a suggestion. I know one time Fez was willing to give Dave, a couple grand, I think it was, a month for child care for young Stan. What about giving it to Dave as salary so he can stay at work? And then we want to listen to Earl.
Fez has had time to do the right thing. Never came up. We are where we are. Let's face it, no one can put a gun to anybody's head. This isn't the black community where that thing is common. Earl, you did the big Black Rock Coalition show. Major success for you. Biggest show Black Rock ever did?
It's up there. I mean, the two biggest shows that I've been associated with have been in Central Park.
The fact that there was a stampede and 15 deaths, did that ruin anything?
No, that was not the BS.
Where was that?
I believe that was at a soccer match.
South Africa?
I believe so.
Surprises me. Could not tell the difference.
They got Black Rock down there.
How many deaths at your show yesterday?
None. There were no deaths on
Still
Saturday.
counting.
You doing that thing where you take the handguns off them?
No, there was actually there is a bag check. I take that back.
Yeah, I bet there was.
What about rapes?
How many rapes you have?
No rapes, no robberies, no
I like that when they
murders.
open up the pools, the public pools of New York, and then they get the 600 people stood by and watched the rape take place.
Hasn't happened in a while.
Chris in Arizona, you're on Fez.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie? Can I hear some music from the City of Champions to get me excited for the Flyers right now?
Fuck no, you jinx. You know what? Kathleen from the Bronx would choke you out right now, knowing that you would even bring up such a thing when God was just drifting back off to sleep after being awake last night and ruining everything. I'm sorry. Earl, I happen to be very good friends with David Mamet, so I'm sorry if I don't have all fucking day to sit around and talk to you about black on black crime. I don't. All right? Imagine how you'd feel if Spike Lee came in. That's me.
I know.
Mamet is the white Spike Lee. Did you see that Spike Lee show where he traced his roots?
No, I wanted to.
Right up to the white person who raped his great grandmother.
Is that true?
It's to a very black person that, their family's been here. They've been on some kind of fucking plantation.
Yeah.
Mastigato.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a common thing where you had a white.
Oh, it's very common. Emmett Smith, same situation. He did it. I will look at you, though, Earl, and say that you have zero black blood.
What? Wait a minute.
If anything, your great-great-grandmother, by looking at you, and I don't know this, I'll do the DNA test, but I guess that your great-great-grandmother was raped by a lump of coal. Because you actually are blacker than an African.
I am not that dark. I'll show you some black people. Like
blacker
dark,
than you.
Dark. I mean, almost purple dark.
You got streaks of purple.
Streaks of purple. I got light skin on...
Where?
One side of my arm.
The palm.
But I'm not black.
Let me see your palms. Still black.
We're a little red, but not black.
866 Run Zero Fez. 866 Run Zero Fez. It is, the beginning of a post-Dave world. It feels weird for us. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Jay, St. Louis, Sherman Fez.
She was yelling at the rescue operator that there's too much blood. I can't go down there.
It's a nice summary. It's all right there for us. 866 Run Zero Fez. 866 Run Zero Fez. Hey, Dieter in Michigan, you're on Fez.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Good.
You know, with Dave being gone, it's kind of accentuating my own situation. It looks like I'm going to get shit canned on Tuesday.
It's the worst.
Fucking A, man. It is. And they've let us know for the last 25 days that we may or may not be employed, so we're stewing over it forever. But I'm just looking for some coping skills, man.
Oh, it's a terrible thing. We talked about this before, but when you're a man, you tend to see yourself as your job. Or you've been out of work for a year, right?
Yeah.
Other than the short time.
Yeah, pretty much. And
what do you do to cope?
For me, you just try to do anything to keep busy. Just try to keep your day moving, whether it's, looking for work,
What have you been doing? Pitching pennies and drinking?
Not pitching pennies and drinking, but believe it or not, the drinking part, it would start to cross my mind. Like, really.
Let's numb it out a little bit?
Yeah, it'll numb it out a little bit. And it was like, that wouldn't even enter my, 2 years ago, that would have never entered my mind. But now it's sort of like, maybe I should start drinking. It'll help me cope a little.
I never thought that you'd come crawling in here so quickly, crawling on your belly to these serious people.
Like I said, you do what you got to do.
I understand that. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you how to cope. I've been on the beach before. I could never stand it. Never could stand it.
I mean, the stir craziness, that's the worst part. Like, it's like your apartment seems to get smaller and smaller.
Oh, then people also be like, hey, any news? Wouldn't I tell you, motherfucker, if I knew something? You think I'm going to fucking keep that quiet? And the thing is while you're out of work, you probably should do some stuff that you wouldn't have time to do. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you should start some exercise regime or see museums or do, because there's a lot of free shit to do in America, that's not big, but, state parks and national parks, and all the kind of stuff that you should be taking care of. But then when you find yourself on the beach, you never are doing that. You fucking find yourself going, I've been sitting next to this phone like an idiot. I like the thought of you drinking, Earl.
It actually crossed my mind. I mean, not like, like my like my family used to do, which is straight up vodka or whiskey. But
why don't you do this? There's something I want you to try. It's called speedball.
Oh.
Go all in, Earl.
Go all in. Fucking Lil George, John Belushi, this thing.
You've got the time.
But they both...
There's a fat man in the bathtub. I hear him moan. I hear him moan. Well, you just fucking speedball and lay in the bathtub for a while.
But what is the speedball? What is the
I
effect
said,
of it?
well, it's a little bit of heroin, a little bit of coke. And it fucking takes the drowsiness off the fucking heroin and takes the off the coke. Gets you in a nice fucking straight center.
What if you
And
miss
then it's just you and Little Feet for the rest of the night. just fucking relaxing.
What if you miss with one? What if the combo's not
I
exactly
said
on point?
yeah, that's the fun part of it. It's chemistry, Here, it's all right here. 866, you're CJ. Lana, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Fez. Is it gay? We didn't do sack tapping, but if someone was wearing loose basketball shorts, we would pants them, pull their pants down in the middle of the hallway and embarrass the shit out of them.
Yeah, I think that's gay. You want to see what's underneath their pants.
You're gay!
Oh, that reminds me, who? Davey Mack. The comment. McDonald. Well, we made it through today's show. It was really great to have a grave robber here. Earl, stop by. How'd you get in the building, Earl? Hex let you? Hey, did you have your new interns today?
Yeah, we got new interns back here.
How are they looking?
Looking good.
Have them come in here and stand in front of me. I want to just take a look at them.
Okay.
Have them come in at double time, run them in at double time. Have String fucking, bring him in like he's the... I know we had new interns. One's too weak. Yep. All right, let's see. Have them stand next to each other. I just want to have both you guys know that because you're here on the day that Dave left, I'm going to blame it both on you and hate you both forever. So you are going to be the interns that will be considered the worst interns of all time, and I'm going to make your life a living hell. It's going to be hell term. Because I never was part of something like that, or were you?
No.
I want both of you guys to go get Earl grape soda. And what do you want with it? What do you want with it, Earl? Some fried shrimp?
Not fried shrimp.
What do you want?
I like a grape soda.
I know you do.
A little bird.
But this is for Dave. We'll see you guys in here tomorrow.
A friend drove up and told me he said Dave was done. He'd been choked out as Bob Backlund and then burned by a star. Watched the comet, drank some water, XM played in the car. Take everything you feel and just let it go free. Look deeper and deeper till there's nothing to see. If you're angry or frightened, you just wanna die. Follow comet, make not, shoot that shit to the sky. They tried to save him with a vengeance down at FBA. If naked typing girls can't do it well, I won't try Big A. Sad, sad, he's got his hat in his hand. The hot sauce leaking on his hot dog stand. Razzle dazzle, who could it be? The cowbell tolls the last time, and it tolls for thee. Do not go gentle to that good night. Reach against the dying of the light. You might be mistaken or get your facts wrong, but it's a beautiful thing to not know what's going on.
The ever negotiator, Eastside Dave McDonald. I do apologize for snapping a little bit there.
When? When did you snap?
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't even notice. We
No,
can
I
move
mean, I
past it.
didn't even remember.
When I was like, "Let me do a joke."
All right, go ahead. Tell your joke.
I'm glad we're back. No, we already did this. We don't need to do it again.
I never snap at you for the record. I am always shot out of a cannon for Davey Mack's Tales of the Satellite episode.
Absolutely. I know you're
And Davey
jazzed up.
Mack's sports program, Yaddle Chattel, Eastside Davey and Son Wrestling Show, and Modern Day Man.
Yeah.
Okay, I get very, very intense and excited, but I'm always having a good time with Tales from the Satellite. I'm going to tell you what, folks. I'm going to go back and listen to this one.
I do think that's important to bring up, though, is you are up for every show you do. Anytime you're on air, you are in the zone. You're excited. You're bringing what the kids call ruckus enthusiasm.
I don't like the monotone people. I don't like the too cool for school people. Too many anchors on Sports Center are going for this. They're the cool guy in the room. Hey, dork, the athletes are the cool guy. The fucking highlights of the guy who's doing the 360 dunk, that's the cool person. You're just some fucking
You should be excited.
soulless, superficial jabroni that no one cares about. So stop it with they got two guys on Sunday. Oh my God. I hate these two fucking dorks so much. And they think that they're the funniest people of all time. There's nothing worse than unfunny Sports Center anchors who really think that they're funny because maybe they'll have one pop culture reference per episode. And then they'll be like, see how hip I am? But I'm always in a good mood. If you're
always up.
The people have to understand with the Dave Man comes the fire.
Absolutely. And that's what I was going to say. Take into account that every time you heard Dave on O&A or heard you on O&A, you had just commuted for 2 hours. We're coming into the studio and didn't have like 10 seconds to get into your own head and ready to go. You just had to be on from the time you entered Sirius XM because you could be called on at any point.
Yeah, that's
Same
right.
with the Ron and Fez show. I know a lot of times when you're doing a producer's role on radio, you can go and do stuff. You can go pull audio and find stuff for these guys as they bring it up and things like that. But in addition to doing that, you also had to pay attention to the show and be ready to go because at any second, Eastside Dave could be the third or the second mic. So, like, that's something that people should take into account as well.
Take that into account, people. Take it into account.
Sorry, I didn't want to harp on that, but it is.
No, I want the people to take it into account.
Like a little behind the scenes, we did Modern Day Man, and I had to do more production than usual. Like I was on the computer and stuff last time, and it's so much harder to be focused on being a creative part of the show and doing the technical side at the same time because it's two different sides of your brain that like it just brought to light how impressive it was.
Right. Okay.
So
I understand.
that's why I wanted to go into that.
Yeah.
We do as they go into the final part of the episode, it slowly kind of becomes like the final goodbye to Dave. The first thing that happens is a caller calls.
Goodbye to you. Goodbye to you.
A caller asks, why didn't Fez give Dave the money to stay? And Ron replies, he had time to do the right thing, and it never came up.
Who is he in that situation?
Fez.
Okay.
Like he had time to do the right thing to give you some money or to take it out. Like the caller brought up at one point, he offered to pay for your daycare. Why not just give you that money as part of your salary to stay?
Yes, that's what I asked when that was brought up. That was, for starters, you know, I'm not going. That was such a weird thing. I'll pay for your kid's daycare so that your wife goes out and gets a job. That's overstepping the line. Besides that, Stanley couldn't go to a daycare center because he was suffering from cyclical vomiting syndrome, which is when a little baby and into toddler throw up randomly, and it's very scary. They can't even get enough oxygen to breathe, and it happens multiple times a day. Daycare was out. So as a result, I had made that clear, and I said, well, we can't put him in a daycare in case he needs to be home to watch him for these specific reasons. That wasn't good enough, and I don't know. It's a good question. That's not from me, though.
One of the speculations was that you didn't want to take the money from them. You wanted Sirius to do the right thing was there any truth to that at
No,
all?
I
And
mean,
I'm
if
not
Fez was going to give me an extra $2,000 a month, yes, I would have taken it.
okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
I would just with some of the things you said about
It
how
never came up. It never came up. That never came up after the daycare situation, which we've discussed here on this program.
Yep.
Go check the archives on that. But yeah, I mean, after the daycare situation, it never came up. And yeah, if it would have come up, I would have said, okay, fine. I absolutely wanted SiriusXM to start respecting the fact that I had done a lot of fucking great shit for these people.
Absolutely.
And they never, ever, ever just said, you're a talented guy. You know that?
And even if you had taken the money from Feds, the fact that the show host was like, this guy's important enough to change my salary to give it to him would be a way to be like, look at how important this guy is. So you still would have gotten the respect. But
yeah, I think I don't think SiriusXM gives people respect unless they're celebrities. I'm telling you, I saw it on the guy's desk. I saw their fucking strategy, the pyramid strategy, where the celebs are at the tippy top.
no, absolutely.
They do not. SiriusXM does not respect people who see radio for radio and say, I want to do something magical with this wonderful, magical, immediate medium. I want to do something creative and sometimes even artful with this thing. They don't see that. And it is weird because you wouldn't say, hey, let's just take anybody. Tom Cruise. Hey, Tommy, come do a radio show. Okay, maybe he would do a good radio show. I doubt it. It's not because he's not a talented guy. It's because that's not what he's talented in. He's a fucking actor. So
Absolutely.
a lot of these celebrities bleed SiriusXM dry. They show up there, prerequisited 4 times a year, and that's it. And they're laughing all the way to the bank, fucking telling their friends, we just got $10 million. We're doing jack and shit for SiriusXM. Whereas real radio people will be like, I can't get a job.
Is it true that there's somebody at Sirius whose only job now is to take failed celebrities they overpaid and find out where to work them back into the existing channels?
I would know that, but
that's what I heard. Because you had guys like Jason Ellis who they were going to bring in because he was going to be faction and it was going to be a whole new thing, and then it kind of flopped. So maybe we can rework this station and make it faction talk, and we'll take a couple of people. Oh, we got what was that guy who did late night for a while that they brought in?
Craig Ferguson?
Yeah, we got Craig Ferguson. Oh, that didn't go the way we wanted it. Maybe we can rework it and find a spot to put some of his podcasts. Let's bring in Conan. Oh, wait, that didn't go the way we wanted to.
They don't understand that. First of all, any celebrity these days, they're just going to have their own podcast. So it's like they're not going to use SiriusXM anymore. So your best bet, if you were SiriusXM, would be to actually hire people who give a shit about the medium of radio, not wanting to be in the movies, in a rock band, being a boy band member, being a rap star, being a home improvement celeb, being a famous chef. Everything except for performing on the radio, SiriusXM is into. And then you're like, hey, I'm really into, expanding and entertaining on the radio. They're like, oh, but you're not a celebrity. No.
Get famous and come back and talk to us.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
the strategy.
If I was in charge of Sirius, what I would do right now is take all the profit I have, all my funds, and put it into a time machine and see if we could develop a time machine and go back 20 years to where they had a head start of everybody else and do everything the exact opposite. Like, literally.
I know exactly what you would do. Ready? You would fire every program director and general manager at SiriusXM because, number one, Sirius hired all FM brain dead program director, and every program director who I've ever worked for in radio is about the stupidest, dumbest motherfucker on the planet.
Absolutely.
They have no creative ideas, which is why they're sitting at that desk. I'd fire every single one of them and then talk to the talent, figure out which people who are on-air people can handle the business side. Give them an extra 150 G's a year and say, you're going to also run the channel. That's how I would have done it. Not hire one goddamn program director, general manager from radio, because all they do is sync radio stations.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about Al Dukes, who the whole time he was on Ron and Fez, the joke was his whole goal is to be in management. He wants to be in management. He gets to management, realizes it's full of non-creative
He
people
got out
who
of
hate
there.
radio and goes back to producing because that's where the love is.
Al Dukes couldn't have, he stayed in the suit position very, very quickly and said, no, this sucks. I miss fucking just being a producer, and then got a lot of success with Boomer and Carton, and then now Boomer and Geo on WFAN in New York. So there you go. Absolutely. And Al Dukes a great guy. We text from time to time.
You take a guy like that, you give him 150 G's to also help. Boom, done. Like something that simple, and they really let it go. The callers call in, go, what if I smash a radio, all this stuff, and Ron kind of is like, guys, it's done. Like, I'm sorry, you could try all that stuff, but it's done. He says at one point, if he thought it could work, the show Flash Forward was big at the time. He said if he thought Flash Forward was a new TV show that was coming out.
Oh, right. They ripped off Lost.
Yep. But he was using that as the reference. He was like, if I thought it would work, I would have a bunch of people go in the lobby and they go, what is this, a Flash Forward protest? And I'd go, no, I put poisonous gas in the air. Bring back Dave or it's over. And like, he's clearly wanted you on. He does keep the Ron and Fez thing, kind of surreal thing going because it's 2 interns first day. So he makes Pepper bring them in. And he goes, I just want you two both to know, since your first day is Dave's first day without Dave, I'm going to hate you both forever. I blame you for this 100%. It's your fault. I will never look you in the eyes again. You know what I mean? And just kind of leans into it. And then they play, and thank God we're not listening to this live because I don't want the audience to see me cry. But they play Sleeves Comet McDonald on the way out.
Oh, great song from Sleeves. Got to thank him for all the wonderful songs he did throughout the years. Midnight Rider being one, and the Rockahula Luau, and just so many great songs. But yeah, this one was great. Comet McDonald. And I believe he did this song, though, because he too fell for the Rider.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So this was when he thought Eastside Dave McDonald had quit. He wrote a very depressing song, thinking Dave was gone, but then the Rider came back. But now they used it because Dave is gone.
Dave was actually gone.
Yeah,
and
now he's really gone. So
I think,
excellent job by Sleeves.
I think we talked about it on the car ride, but when I was listening to the Rider series for the first time, I didn't know the whole saga or anything, that it was a work. I thought this was a shoot. And I'm sitting there being a guy who just wanted to be in radio so bad, thinking about a guy who had his shot and then it went away like that. And the audience loved him so much to write this tribute. And it jerks at your heart. And then you realize you got worked. And that's the love of Ron and Fez. But then to hear it used as a shoot, oof, it really cracks you. You know what I mean? You go, this guy, he poured his heart and soul into radio. And this is what we got.
Oh, man. Maybe I'm the fucking jaded one, not Chris Stanley, because everything you said was fucking making me chuckle, and you're trying to be
sincere. I'm trying to hold back tears.
I'm sorry.
No.
I shouldn't be laughing at your emotion. That's my bad.
For you, by the way.
I know. This is, and by the way, Sirius XM, I put myself just as evil as you guys.
Oh, of course.
I don't live in no glass house. I know I'm fucking evil, just like you, Sirius XM, because look at little Robert. He's crying, and I'm laughing. It struck me as funny. Now that is truly evil.
You know what I think is funny is that you specified you don't live in a glass house. When soon you won't be living in any house.
Oh, hey. Oh, I do live in a glass house.
I don't
Wait,
know.
I should have said I do live in a glass house.
It's because you don't throw stones. Either way, the good news is you're doing great things. You're back. Anything else you want to give us before we get out of here about your final days at SiriusXM? Perhaps
Well,
like
they were well, again, with Ron and Fez.
with Ron, because I was going to say you kept going and doing the other thing there, which
I did special delivery and then Davey Mac Sports Program until 2014 or 2015. I don't recall. I think 2014.
I think 2014, yeah. Because then you moved over to Riotcast.
Yeah, I
there
started
was
2005, December of 2005. So I started 2005 and went to 2014. Yes, that's the date. No, I would say it was a great episode on the Ron Fez show. They were wonderful. No issues with what they said. SiriusXM tried to play games, but just no. That's what happened. What I tell you, what happened, happened. There's no bullshit that comes from either me nor Robert on Davey Mac's Tales from the Satellite. It'd be completely pointless. We wouldn't do a show just to do bullshit. That defeats the whole premise of the show. The show is to tell you some backstage stories and give your honest critique and opinion about some of the shit that happened. And I hope people understand that. I get fired up, but I'm always having a good time.
Oh, absolutely. And even when one of us tries to perhaps not say all the details about Sirius, the other one's so high he brings it up anyway. So we are about as honest as we can be on here. And if we missed anything, let us know in the comments, or better option, subscribe to the $5 tier and ask your specific question during Davey's Q&A from the satellite.
Yeah,
That
we
way you
got
get-
some great questions from Charles and Jesse lately, and they're staying on top of things. So the Davey Max Tales from the Q&A, they go from 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes a little bit longer. But they're always really fun, really quick things. And submit whatever the question you want. I'll try to answer it.
Absolutely. And thank you for getting into this, Dave. I know it couldn't have been easy talking about the end of working with Ron and Fez, but
It's
I
very
appreciate
difficult,
you.
Robert.
Appreciate the emotional work you did to get through that there, buddy.
I feel good about it. I
do
feel
too.
like we have straightened the record. We have it's on the record. SiriusXM would never challenge me on anything that I said, because I said 100% truths. Maybe even in the form of bombs. Truth bombs.
Now you're taking Fez's shtick.
I know. No, but hey, it was it's a good run. Well, are we still doing this show then in the future?
The Tales from the Satellite?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I wasn't sure exactly what was even happening.
We didn't fight that much today.
Yeah, I mean, we don't go in chronological order. We realize that's literally impossible, so we Pulp Fiction this thing. But yeah, I will say, I thought they did a great job. The Ron and Fez show did on that episode. Very funny episode. I appreciated all the words.
Absolutely.
Throughout my time, my thing is always, I mean, it's always, I can name feuds that I had at 90.5 The Night, Sirius XM, Westwood 1, and 95.9 The Rat. And it's every single time it's a program director and or general manager. They're just not wired to
Get the day man.
understand me. And because they get in the positions of power, they'll make up their mind and stay with that fucking stupid ass judgment forever. Oh, he's crazy, or he's creative. I think I would go for the latter.
Yeah.
So that's all I would say. I always enjoyed working with on-air people. It's the PDs that drive you fucking up a wall in life, in radio.
Goddamn. It's almost like in life, Dave, it's T-shirts versus the suits, and fuck the suits.
Well, that's true. That is true.
With your permission, can I go on a little tangent real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm excited about this.
Awesome.
I like the with your permission because now I feel because I guess what it is I sometimes feel like I'm on a rant and I can always tell when Robert wants to say something, and so
This
you
time.
start giving me anxiety.
This time I caught you out of the blue. You didn't even know.
No, but this I like this approach.
Perfect.
Go ahead, please.
Absolutely. This is the opposite of an endorsement. This is a do not buy this product. It is called Taste Buds.
What is that now?
Now you could see it says it's cannabis with a twist. And what the twist is, Dave, is they add in organic rose hips, jasmine, calendula, lavender, and weed together. And you know what you don't need in your joint? Any of the other shit other than weed.
Yeah,
I don't want my weed to taste like Christmas. I don't want to smoke lavender. More importantly, if you're at a weed fest and you're selling this horseshit, you should warn people.
Dude, that is terrible. That is like getting a bag of oregano in high school from some fucking kid who tries to take your goddamn fucking $25.
And like we all like a spliff from time to time. A little tobacco in there, right? A little something to make it more fun. I don't want to smoke Christmas. I don't want to smell like a hippie girl's pussy full of incense as every time I take a hit.
No,
This
in all
is terrible.
honesty, that literally sounds like we're trying to fuck you over. We're going to put as little marijuana in here as possible and then put a whole bunch of other shit that won't give you anything, any kind of little fun feeling.
No.
No, that's a con job. What is it called? Taste Buds?
Taste Buds in Brooklyn.
No, thank you, Taste Buds.
Fuck you guys. You know what's a good recommendation, though?
What?
The Modern Day Man Show, starring Eastside Dave McDonald and Aaron Berg, produced by Bobby Timber.
Yeah, go check it out. Subscribe on YouTube at Modern Day Man Show, and then the audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify. And I fart. iTunes and Spotify.
Anywhere you find podcasts. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been this Tale from the Satellite. Sorry, I was on Davey Max Sports Program mode. This has been the Tales from the Satellite discussing the Save Dave campaign. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate all the support. And if you guys have things you want us to talk about, we found this one on the Reddit. As we were just scrolling through, there were some questions. We thought it was a good topic. But the easiest way is through the Tales from the Q&A. But, put it in the comments. Message Dave or I on Twitter.
Reach out to us.
Yeah, we'll talk about
find
whatever.
it somehow. Reach out to all my socials are at Eastside Dave.
Perfect. On that note, good evening, radio fans.
See ya.
I watch Comet McNabb as it raced with the sun. A friend drove up and told me Eastside Dave was done. He'd been choked out as Bob Backlund and then burned by a star. Watched the comet, drank some water, XM played in the car. Take everything you feel and just let it go free. Look deeper and deeper till there's nothing to see. If you're angry or frightened, you just wanna die, follow Comet McNabb, shoot that shit to the sky. They tried to save him with a vengeance down at FBA. If naked typing girls can't do it well, I won't try Big A. Sad, sad, he's got his hat in his hand. The hot sauce leaking on his hot dog stand. Razzle dazzle, it be? The cowbell tolls the last time, and it tolls for thee. Do not go gentle to that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. You might be mistaken or get your facts wrong, but it's a beautiful thing to not know what's going on. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. You're Carmen McDonald. Now shoot that shit through the night.